Discretion is advised.
On our home servers, we claim allegiance to different factions, playing to measure individual skill, for the reputation of our outfits, or simply for the glory of battle itself. But we have longed for the spectacle and exhilaration of massive competition. Hundreds of players facing off on a level playing field to determine who will reign supreme. On this battlefield, players from around the globe stand together in their combined might as servers, to participate in the ultimate expression of teamwork and the largest competitive events in gaming. The tactics from live server play will likely get you killed here. Organization and communication are key. Victory is seized by quick-thinking commanders and agile and creative squads. More than their individual skills, you must rely on your teammates to band together as a cohesive force to drive the enemy back. This is PlanetSide, the way it is meant to be played. PlanetSide Battle ServerSmash Tournament 2015.
Hello everyone, and welcome to another ServerSmash. I'm just gonna unmute myself in TeamSpeak, give me 2 seconds here. Hello! It's Farah here, one of your casters, yay! And who am I joined with today?
Shreedy Shriek from Vogu.
And that's basically it really, because apparently Maelstrom doesn't talk. Yeah, go away Maelstrom, you're not talking.
I am streaming.
So today it was kind of like a fun cast, I suppose. We've got Connery oh, let me turn the volume down a bit so I can hear the music. There we go. So, today we're going to be having our fantastic game. It depends on people's point of view here, to be honest. Emerald versus Connery, America versus America, as we call it. What was it? Connery East versus Emerald West. Is that right?
Other way around, isn't it? It's Emerald East.
No, Emerald's already on the East server, therefore they're West. You're associating with their... It doesn't
Emerald
matter.
Oh yeah, I've got my geography.
Yeah, you got your geography way wrong, and it's /observer to go into observer camera. Anyway, right, okay, today, for your record, guys, so you're watching as we go through this, I'm on PSP 1, obviously, because you're watching it, yada yada. PSP 2 is Shrikity. He'll be doing this in the second feed. Maelstrom isn't streaming because reasons. And Maddox is actually doing the Korean stream, although I think he's got his own channel, so never mind about that because he was having issues with 4. And Robertino is going to be streaming to PlanetSide Battles 3, and his job is to cover nothing but the air. So everyone who's a pilot and wants to watch the flying battle, assuming Connery keeps the air alive for more than 5 minutes, I'm totally not being biased here, apologies, then you get to watch that thing. So I'm totally looking forward to seeing a good air battle when I rewatch the feed from Robertino. So you've got plenty of options today, guys, to watch. But anyway, with that, today's game, assuming the warp gate doesn't get rotated. Mail, what's going on with the maps? Why is it being rotated all the time? It's flipping.
What?
I've got Amish control, TR, and flipping in Terran Republic. Is that just me?
Oh, yes. Just as you were slipping it about 20 times before it agreed, so you must have had it minimised or something.
Okay, bro.
Yeah.
It's annoying as hell. Anyway, moving on, as this giant flickering thing. God, you know how annoying this is? This is like Poonanner's stream. Amish is controlled by the TI. Did you watch that stream when he was on your PSP 3 or something?
No hate for Poonanners, dude.
Poonanner's is fine. Man's a beast. He survived a fall from like 2 stories. Who cares? Best luck to you, by the way. Love you, bro. Yo. But we won't be doing any proximity chat anymore. Right, today's game. Let's get focused. Right, in the zone. Okay, Amrish.
First,
yeah.
What exactly is ServerSmash? Because I'm kind of new to this whole thing.
Really?
Yeah.
You
What
bloody
exactly
noob.
is the ServerSmash?
Right, ServerSmash, guys, is PlanetSide 2 for those of you who are still playing. And PlanetSide 2 is, on live, and we have a map, and rather than playing 3 factions, we have 2 factions, and the server groups. So if you play on Connery server, then you can come together to play for the Connery team. Same for Emerald, plays for the Emerald team. Usually we go on an outfit system.
Unless you're Korean.
Koreans?
Unless you're Korean.
Yeah.
Yes, they play for Brits and
Koreans
Connery,
can
don't
play wherever they want, but then again, that's a can of worms. Let's not open that. Anyway, so the point is, in ServerSmash, you can play for your server groups, you can play against other server groups, different cultures, different things, different ways of playing. You clash together in ServerSmash. It's fantastic, and we assign maps, and we have accounts, and we have a private test sort of event server that everyone can play in. This is no interference, and it pretty much is the refined essence of what PlanetSide 8 is. It is far more tactical, far more strategic, far more meta than anywhere else you ever get in live play, and that's what draws people back. And when we don't ball this thing up by taking points away arbitrarily and doing other crap, it's actually really fun, and I actually really enjoy it. I don't know about you, Mail, but I'm having fun right now. What about you? Anyway, right. Moving on to... wait, hold on, Trickety, are you happy with that explanation, or should I go back and do that again?
And that's pretty good. And it's 240 versus 240 this match, right? Or
That
there an
is
agreement
correct.
to go higher?
You know what? I am very glad you told me that. Yes, there are numbers of 240 versus 240 here today, with a number of third parties such as yourselves watching the battlefield. Anyway, I'm going to leave this mountain here as the continent is still being flipped just this year. At least my HUD thing is. Right, so...
Do you want to go to Warp Gate? Do you want to go to the Emerald one? Because I'm already at the Connery.
Nah, I'm
So
not
if
going to
you
go
pick
to the
Emerald,
Warp
yes.
Gates. There's no point, not yet, until a few more minutes before the game starts, because I don't want to... These are 2-minute feed and I don't want to show anything that's going on this channel. Right, so, that being said, Trickety's and Planets of Battle 2, guys. You just put a 2 in front of the front, and it's not hard in the thing. Anyway, right. Amrish, okay? So, from the south, Connery. From the north, Emerald, okay? So, you're looking at the map. You've done some kind of tactical crap in the past, Trickety. Tell me, what do you do if you're Connery here?
Well, in ServerSmashes, apart from the recent change, which is going to be very interesting, which is that you can now steal 3-point neutral bases at the start, which is going to be pretty huge for this match, because there's 2 major ones that are contestable from the start, which is the Bastion and Split Peak. But generally, you want to go for the 1-point bases that are fast caps. So that's Subterranean Night Analysis, because that lane's pretty easy to push on the far east. And you also have a complicated one on the west, because it's no neutral base on the west. So immediately, you're capping enemy territory, which is more valuable than neutral. So it's kind of hard at the start, because you don't want to send too many forces out to the west, if they don't commit that many. But you don't want to let them just freely cap all the way down, or all the way up. So you really, as a force commander, you're kind of not wanting to commit too much in certain areas and trying to assume what the enemy's going to put their forces on. And obviously now with this new 3-point change, the Bastion could be completely different, because basically what it means is they can come in with 10 seconds to go, take 2 points, and steal the base off whoever stayed there.
Well,
it's going to be really...
It's not just the Bastion, you got Split Peak Pass and the Ascent,
Yeah,
assuming they're not cut
and the
off.
Ascent.
So, I mean, this is going to be hilarious with a capital H.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to see what they do.
We've always testified you play the game as it is on live, within a margin of reason, which is also why on Amrish the cutoff territory isn't as much of a deal. We had a look at the map. It's actually very hard to cut off.
Well,
someone
the
on
new
Amrish.
cutoff territory is going to be pretty important, because
Well,
a pretty common
yes,
tactic
but-
on this map has been a direct assault.
But you have to lose a major outpost. So, like, if you're TR going south, you need to take Araxis
Crux
Farms.
or Araxis,
Or if you're
yeah,
going north,
exactly.
you have to take Crux, and then Air Force comes into play. But the point is that you still have to go through a major outpost. Yes, you can cut them off, but you have to go right up to the Warp Gate. Esamir is a completely different barrel of can of worms in terms of a change of meta-style gameplay that has big ramifications because they change the way it goes on live, and then your maps all of a sudden, one of them at least, becomes potentially less fair. But anyway, that's irrelevant because, Amrish, right? So I'm looking at this, right, and I can see on the western lane, as you're saying, that there's a direct connection. For me, it favours probably the south because there's more single-point territories, whereas if you're coming in from the north, you have to go through Kwai Amp Station, so there's not as much of a territory swing.
Well, if you look at
There's
it,
three. Right.
Yeah, it's through another side though, really, because Lithcop Secure Mine it's like Helm's Deep. It's freaking
okay.
impossible to get through.
That is true, especially in a ServerSmash environment. This is the thing about Connery. Oh, and if you guys aren't aware here, I believe some players from Emerald are playing for Connery today. Maybe there's rumors of Emerald fielding their B team, although it's not really their B team, it's more like their Z team. I can understand where the mentality is coming from there. You want to rotate people. You have to make sure everyone gets a game in, so you put them in the game where the opposition's weakest, so that when you come across your next game, when you have strong opposition, because Emerald still needs to play against Briggs and still needs against Miller, server, they can have stronger players in those particular games. So I can see where that's coming from, assuming that's accurate today.
Yeah, but then you have the issue if we don't know when the team's going to be, get some morale up and play well, or do training, or put in the extra mile and bring a really strong force forward, and then you can get yourself caught with your pants down.
Yeah. Well,
because historically Emerald have been the strongest server, and Connery recent performance has been lackluster, I guess, but it's never saying that they could bring the best team out.
Guys, just to make this clear, because I did see chat in a second. Subterranean analysis, which also referred to its, well, I don't think I can say that on live, but it's Satan's, in the backside. It is a base in the beginning is actually, yes, it is actually quite easy to capture if you want to commit to it, because it is a third-party base. It's when it becomes the ownership of the enemy team, that's when it becomes significantly harder to take.
But don't forget, it's a weird 1-point base as well, because it has 2 1-minute shield generators that you have to knock out to get to the point.
Exactly,
so it's a 6-minute base.
It's a 6-minute base, and you have to understand, guys, if you've never come to PlanetSide before and you don't know anything about the way it works, is different bases have different capture timers, and I apologize for looking at the map all the time here. But basically, a small outpost like Rockslide is a 4-minute base timer, whereas Bastion, even if you have all the points, including Split Peak, for example, is going to take 7 minutes at the least, and it can go up to way more if there's more points under contention. So how you manipulate your forces is where you usually go for the smaller outposts to flip them first, to then apply pressure on the larger ones at a later time.
And the larger ones are a logistical nightmare as well.
And now,
basically,
you don't even need to do that, because you can literally turn up to the 3-pointers, Bastion, Split Peak, take over the capture point, and then just cap it in the 1-second marker. You can totally not go to Split Peak for 6 minutes and 59 seconds, and then before, when you got there, you usually had to go there at the halfway marker, because you had to then fight the way back, so you always had at least 3.5 minutes base cap. Now it's a second. If you do it right, you can steal it in a second. If you drop 4 people on the 4 different cap points at Split P Pass, assuming I've got this correct, you take all the 4 points, you then steal the cap. Because of the way that it uniquely works when it's a third faction base capture, that type of mechanic will not work when it's straight on red versus blue here on the map. That way you've got a swinging timer going back and forth. But against third faction, we have 3 large outposts, and this is going to be hilarious. I'm really looking forward to seeing this. Anyway,
I mean, it's also, I think it kind of plays to Emerald's strengths more than Connery's strength as well, because if you look at how Emerald play, they've generally been really good at, making those last-minute saves, and also really, really good at getting the troops around the map, which is really what you need to do if you want to steal a base in the last 1 minute, have the confidence to do that. You really need to be confident in your platoon's ability to get there on time and not, end up getting there 10 seconds late and you look like an idiot.
Well, Emerald is usually, just to be clear, we've got 2 minutes to go and I'm going to play an intro video in about 60 seconds, but Emerald is considered normally the strongest team, one of the strongest contenders in the ServerSmash, and Connery, along with Cobalt, is considered typically as one of the weaker ones. So if you're going to do a call here, you're probably going to call Emerald the winners, and the question is, how badly do they win? But it's up to be debate depending on how much they've shifted their team around and how their gameplay and all that kind of stuff is tight changed for this particular game. But in terms of air game, I mean, what are we expecting here? Robert, you're following the air, right? Do you got any expectations what you might see in the next few seconds?
Honestly, not much. I can imagine a strong air presence from Emerald. From both teams, really. I mean, having air dominance is a big key in the game.
T, why don't you go to the Southern Warp Gate? Sorry for cutting you off. I apologise, I won't do that again. I just need to play the intro video because we've got 1 minute and 10 seconds. Right back.
Where we come from, we each fight for loyalty, for freedom, or perhaps enlightenment. But not here. Here we cast aside our disparate beliefs, our barriers and preconceived notions, and band together as a global force to engage in the largest competitive battles the world has ever seen. We are the squads, the platoons, the empires and servers, full of players coordinating a complex game of strategy and tactics. This is where combined arms happens. This is where war comes to play. This is ServerSmash.
Hey, how's that for timing? 13 seconds to go. Cool. Well, I'm at the Northern Warp Gate for
10,
watching the
9,
I'm at the Southern.
8, 7,
It's gonna be
6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Go, go, go. Good luck, everybody.
And I forgot to mention, this is our 50th ServerSmash, half a century. Hell yeah. So now we have Connery East versus Emerald West, or just calling it Connery versus Emerald, kicking off, and we can see already. Oh, I tell you what, I do apologise, ladies and gentlemen. I usually turn the sound off, and so I'm wondering why I wasn't hearing lots of shrink. Any particular flight movement for your guys?
It looks like Connery is going in force towards the centre of the map. Maybe Bastion Ascent. Perhaps trying to do an interdiction. Oh, no,
I wonder what's going to happen to SNA. And this is the thing, usually a lot of people drop. Usually one of the things that happens is the interdiction play at. They go for McCalla Ox, but usually they try and do an interdiction at Rocks.
It looks like Emerald's getting the upper hand here, though, and yeah, ANC being wiped off.
Well, I'm not seeing the Jensen there at all. Whether it's just me.
Oh, no, let me
I'm
tune
having
my
a hard
game
time
sound a little bit
spotting
down, Robert, and I'm going to have to boost your volume. Apologies, because you're quite quiet. Say something now, Rob, for me?
Hello.
Yeah, that'll do. There you go. You were saying something about the Arab group?
Yeah, I'm not seeing much NC here at all, to be honest. I don't know whether it's just me. But yeah, I'm at Macaulay's Auxiliary, and NC seem to be few and far between.
Well, let's go over the wider map. We can see that Raven's Landing's actually got 12:24. They don't need to be there because they've already got the ticker timing down. Rockslide has been ticked down by the North and the TR. Bastion's ticking. Split Peak is even numbers. Looks like Emerald is applying more pressure, or slightly more, on Soltic charging. I'm going to go to SNA. The thing is, you've got the delay.
It's strange. All it looks like is Emerald are pulling out Sunderers maybe to get a self-defensive position.
Emerald down. Right, so with the game meta, guys, we talk about force multipliers. Wow, Vanguards and Lightnings from the beginning.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. It's just,
absolutely, because it's such an exposed base, this SNA.
Yeah, look at the Sunderers, they're getting destroyed on this point. This is what I ordered when I was on this.
They don't have air control, but they are getting bombarded from the sky, and they've got nothing to fire AA. Maybe the Sunder with AA guns and repair?
It's anti-infantry guns on the Sunderers for some reason.
Yeah, so but the repair Sunder actually needs to go up to the tank that's actually being hit. Oh, you're right, sorry.
Sorry, you still have the overlay.
Yeah, my bad. I turned it off. Sorry. Right, TeamSpeak overlay's gone. There we go. First 3 minutes of hilarity. Yeah, chat's 2 minutes behind. You'll get it in a sec. Maybe once someone to inform them. There we go.
Connery control the inside of Training 9 analysis, and they have overall as well. It looks pretty good for them in this base.
Okay, so you can see that the Emerald's got himself a 4 Sunder set up on the far side, and that's the thing about this base, it has no garages whatsoever. Outside control is got to be in favour of probably Connery, just with the sheer amount of armour they've got. But in terms of
this armour, though, this armour needs to flank around the side and just kill these Sunderers. If they come around the side, these Sunderers just get melted by the Vanguards.
What's actually going on at the point? Does Connery have it yet, or?
Connery splitting the gen. They just got on the point now.
Yo,
can you turn your audio down a bit, mate?
My mic or just game audio in general? Alright, hold on.
Audio.
Yep. Alright, one sec.
Cheers, mate.
There we go. A little bit quieter. Okay, so it is ticking down. They've got the inside. Have they got themselves a Sunder deployed on the outside? SNA? Yeah, they got some. It's long distance though. They've got kind of vehicle control. Thing is, the vehicles that they've got, they're not actually throttling off the reinforcements. It's a very important spawn Sunderer on the north side with follow-up backups. Emerald could actually push this armor group that's Connery's got. In fact, they're being really... What is the Valkyrie? What is the Valkyrie doing firing down on the Sunderer?
Oh, there's a small fire team of Emerald pushing into Subterranean now, but they're not pushing the point for some reason.
Oh, they're not in a rush. It's a third party
base. Yeah, they're probably
base.
going to wait for 2 minutes. That's when they're going to start pushing in.
That's a 3-pointer, right? What happens when it's like a 1-pointer?
It's the same as the old times.
Oh, okay, so it's just shifting. Okay, I'll take this out. Macalla Ox, not only is it saved, they're pushing heavily back at Araxicum substation.
Yeah, that's going to be dangerous if Araxicum substation goes down fast. They might try the...
Check the number of bodies they've got on the point. They've got themselves a harasser. No Sundies, just blocking up. But what we're talking here, number-wise, they got 56%. So one of the things that Emerald is very good, guys, is moving numbers where they need to be at the right time. So applying pressure, helping your adjacent lanes, because if you're looking at lanes, there's a lane here as I'm moving with the mouse. It's 1, that's 2, that's 3, it's 4, 5, and then 6. So you can have like 6 platoon leaders, but the fact is, if you're doing well on one particular lane, you can jump over to another lane to help out if it's doing poorly. Or if your lane is relatively inactive, you can jump to a lane that's doing well, such as what we're seeing right here, Roxcom Substation, and force the cap to go through. So this is how we're seeing an overpop, and in 16 seconds, they're going to get it. And that was a gal drop of Connery on the point, but there's so many TR from Emerald, you don't know how they're going to get it back. And your mission, Shrikity, here is whenever I go biased with one particular server, you need to totally...
Yeah, exactly.
Not necessarily biased, you just need to like point out how the other team can do much better, you know?
Well, one thing Emerald's always been really good at is when they get pushed off a base, you basically have a grace period where the enemy can attack that lane. I saw that crush in the midair there. And when they have that grace period, they send that platoon to another lane and then they pressure it with 2-to-1 numbers.
I'm actually... Oh, wow, okay, Split Peak's getting low, but the fact is, it'll be interesting if anyone tries to take advantage. And so is the Bastion. This is getting interesting how these are going to play, and the Ascent is obviously beginning to tick down as well. And it looks like Connery's playing big for Lithcorp Central as well. I'm going to go with Split Peak for a sec. No, I was reading chat here. A lot of people have been watching Mad Max cheering for Valhalla and witnessed me as they took the base. That's all I was getting at. It's nice. Right, so this is going to be violent because this base, you know how we only have 3-point bases, and because they can wax back and forth in ServerSmash, so you can sometimes you can last forever, right? Will not be the case once a cap is actually started, unless it goes neutral 2 and 2 points, which even then. That's the only way you can stall it, and that only on Split Peak Pass and bases with 4 capture points. You are going to have an instance where the base will capture. It is going to tick down and it will be capped. And it looks like Bravo and Charlie, this is odd, really exposed either side of the base, being in control of Connery. And TR Emerald is, oh wow, check out Delta at Split Peak. It's the massive Sunday train that we've seen before in previous games.
Those Sunderers are also training that analysis. They're now inside and holding down the point, keeping it locked down, make sure they get the base. For Emerald, TR.
Yeah, there you go. In fact, they can drive them in and then just makes it powerful. But the Delta point at Split Peak Pass is the exact same. I'm counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I saw them.
7.
They pulled them out at the start of the game.
Oh wow!
So
even proxy radar. Lots of repair, blockade armor to watch the front and back. And
that's just painful if you're Connery and you see that. That would give you.
Yeah, it just locks the point down. But this won't make it a never-ending fight. It means that if they get 3 points on the top side, which possibly happen with A, 2 minutes is going to be theirs. But at the same time, TR can counter dunk and take the base. So I'm kind of keep an eye on that. And you can see all of Connery's been pushed off subterranean analysis because the inability to take spawns, and they're so well dug in with those Sunders. You'd have to think. You know. And
on the far west, that's that dangerous lane because it's so far away from reinforcement. It looks like Connery are losing the momentum there, so they need to make an action and try and regain it.
Lithcorp, it's sense back kind of iffy. Looks like it doesn't look like Connery's ready to make a population dump. They've just lost Sotic charging station, but it doesn't look like they're ready to make a population dump on the Bastion either.
I think they need to move people from the Ascent to the Bastion, because the Bastion's about to go through, and the Ascent's 6 minutes, it's going to be a long time. There's no reason to fight over it.
The thing is, currently, there really isn't no numbers you can do. I mean, it's relatively balanced. If you take people away, you're going to be...
But currently, because of the new system, the Ascent is capping at full speed anyway, so the numbers there are useless. You may as well send them to Bastion and make sure you don't lose a base.
Sure. No, absolutely. And the thing is, it all comes down to last-minute pop-ins and steals. The thing is, do you really want to do a last-minute steal, or do you want to just, like, when you're under, like, 60 seconds, just send a huge amount of territory to a large outpost to guarantee its capture because of the sheer value of it, because it's going to buy you so much time, and then move forces back to perhaps where you pay for it with smaller outposts.
Well, the dangerous thing about the Bastion is that it opens up so many links. So if you lose that base, which is about to go through now for Emerald, then they can really assault a lot of places at once.
Okay, so riddle me this, right? Why would a heavy assault, TR heavy assault, right, use the NSW7, the silence variant?
The silence SMG?
Yeah, as a heavy assault.
Ooh. Well, maybe he's just going with it.
I have a sound effect for that.
Shame.
Is he getting the shame?
He's getting the shame. Unless someone could tell me why that's a good idea. Right?
There is no good reason to use it.
I mean, I can understand why you use the Cyclone or one of the NC SMGs, but there we go. So Connery now crushes back onto Charlie. It's going to flip it, but it is 2 minutes now. And Bastion has now ticked down, which means Deep Core, Geolab, and Lithcorp Central are vulnerable. However, Connery's moved on to Rockslide. Cutting off the Ascent is fine, but so long as the Ascent is under contention, it doesn't matter if Connery gets Rockslide Overlook, and they're already being counter-capped now because of the Bastion, which is really, really painful.
Emerald did have a Sunder on Lithcorp, but it got blown up somehow. I just came in to see its corpse render.
34 seconds now. This big hold on Delta, it's going to be annoying in terms of pushing out, although they can push out from Varax's firearms, and it's already ticking down now anyway. It means that they can push into East Hills is only delayed because of the Delta point. But if your thing is, this could backfire horrendously. You could have mega overpop. Like Connery could have like massive amount of overpop. But if the TER here from Emerald times this right, they on the 1 second, right, here we go, B. Look at this. Look at this. They've got forces on B. They're going to steal it because they've taken the 3rd point at the appropriate time.
Get down here, guys. Get down here.
Look at this. 62% by Connery.
All those maxes
Doesn't matter. It's going to be captured by Emerald because of the mechanics. Unless they can get Alpha right now, and there's a huge number of population charging to Alpha. 1 second. Is he going to get the point? No!
Yeah, that's a horrible mistake by Connery.
And that just goes to show that I don't know if I like that game mechanic, but it's certainly dramatic. Because now, all of a sudden, Split Peak Pass was taken by a smaller number of people against a much larger one just by the right play, by going to the capture points at the right time. And it's just knowing the game mechanics. It's so brutal. Right, now moving on for the rest of the map, SNA is taken by Emerald. They're currently 51 to 45. Looks like, wow, check that out, 24 to 48.
Soltec Gorge is just getting ghost capped as well. The entire lane's just been given up, I guess.
Well, you can see with the population imbalances, there's a huge amount of Connery population at Subterranean Analysis. They've got slight overpop at Split Peak Pass. That's going to take forever to take back, especially with the fact that the
I don't think you even do take it back. You just leave and keep it tipping down. You have to call that a loss, which is horrible for your morale as a team.
See, Araxicom substation, it's very small numbers, it's not really going to go anywhere. Their next big play, however, is the Ascent. Lithcorp Central is probably going to be saved. Rockslide, look, is probably going to be saved if you look at the population numbers. Hard to say, to be honest. But the fact is, if you get the Ascent, it doesn't matter. The cut-off territory will not count to the final score, but you can still make offensive play. And it looks like the Ascent is where we see Emerald's Air Force?
Yeah, the Air Force is sitting in the center, which is a pretty smart move.
Reminder, if you want to watch the air, guys, go to Planetside Battles 3, the Twitch for 3, and you can see it there. 42 seconds. And they're being dropped on. No, reinforcements to beacons. Alright, fair enough. It's too much to ask, though. Without a spawn option, they've just been popped on. And this is the thing, with the Ascent being 2 minutes by Connery, the Air Force is going to make it difficult to get in. The fact that you've got the cave is making it difficult to get in, but you just need to drop, technically, Bravo and Charlie, because they're on the external. If you can drop a full Galaxy on those cap points, maybe even 2 squads per cap point each, they just need to be there for 10 seconds, and you get the base. That's the power of the mechanic.
At Lithcorp, there's 29% Emerald Force, and they're holding off 70% Connery Force. And it's a really amazing squad play. They're tying up so many people here. Just 12, they're saying it's about 10 guys on the point. And Connery just running in one by one.
They don't even have a Sunder either. It's just infantry.
Yeah, it's pure infantry.
Is there Air Force? Okay,
the Air Force was here
originally,
but
there's
it's moved on.
anti-air on Banana. I don't know how effective this is being, but there are Burster Maxes on the Banana of Lithcorp trying to fire at the Emerald's Air Force on the other side of Skull Bleak Mountain. Who are having an air battle? Yeah, they're having an air battle over the tech plant. Well, not really. It's basically over the eastern side, though.
Well, the thing about Amrish is there's lots of random anti-air turrets.
Check this out. Connery's going to take back Araxicom substation, and what I really like about Connery is their ability to choose to counterattack and then also reinforce as necessary, because this was a slow capture. This was low numbers, and it got down to low percentage numbers or low timer, and now it's been mega reinforced. And Connery shouldn't lose this. They've got a lot of people in the base. Realistically, now it's under 15 seconds. You should all be condensing on the point in case there's like a clutch, like gal drop or vault drop. As we just see
there's
right
a
now.
few TR forces with double story building now, south of the point.
It's too late. There you go.
It's too late. Too late.
Yeah. Apologies, guys. I don't know the outfits. I don't know the tags. There's some Emerald guys for Connery here, and yeah, we're just gonna go with blue team, red team. That'll work. And wow, Lithcorp's been actually being reinforced. Connery has turned up for the ascent. See how they've gone spiked up to 43%. They're actually all the population of Rockslide looks like it's left. So we'll check out Lithcorp for a split second here, as this seems to be the next one that's going to go through. Gal support, infantry support, no Sunder, but they're just being left alone. Looks like wow, check that, 54% now for Connery on. They've got themselves Bravo.
Oh no,
Charlie, no.
Charlie.
Oh, but there's like one guy outside. Go inside. Go inside. Where are you running? The engineer. This coward engineer run away from the point.
Whoever he is, shame him.
I just did.
Shame.
Just did.
Shame.
That's terrible.
Shame.
He could have been the hero. He had it all in front of him.
He was right there. You could have just run into the point. He even had like a decent enough gun. You just kill. The max wasn't there at the time. You just go in, get the kill.
You have to dream big.
Go big or go home. That's where it is. And he just ran away. So that is another major outpost captured. All three major outposts captured now by
If you look at
TR.
the map, you'll see what Emerald does well. In that, well, Subterranean just got flipped now, but every base until recently was ticking down for Emerald, and Connery had no offensive caps. And this is the problem. You just lose momentum completely, and you're forced to defend.
Look, guys, when I cast, I usually reward positive play, and I'm a little bit critical on negative play. I'm not trying to be too negative at Connery. They're doing really well. Well done, Connery. It's nice that you're playing. But
well, this isn't Connery playing badly. This is Emerald playing well.
Yeah, it's basically that, guys. I mean, they're applying pressure on lots of lanes at lots of times and flipping their numbers around. Now, it was really, really cool that Connery took their Axicom substation back, but let's be clear, the fighting at Split Peak is being repulsed. They're still trying to go from SNA, which I think is a horrendous base to try and attack, but they're going for it. Zealous West Air Dock is being attacked by 1 to 2 squads. That's going to go straight into the Biolab, and if you've even got people in the Biolab ready to charge gens and whatnot, that's horrendously bad. We can also see in the north Sultic charging station, Sultic Gorge is going, and Quati West Pass, which is an absolute tiny base, is also...
This is where it gets painful as well, because as a force command, the only option you have is you have to sacrifice a base to pop over population somewhere else on the map.
And look at these force multipliers. So many Sunders, and like, it's... If you're Connery, you're running from the spawn room. Wow, they actually made it to the spawn room, but to the cap point. But it's so difficult to move through all these Sundras because they're the most cost-effective, functional
200
vehicle in the game.
Compared to 450 for a max.
Or a tank, and you're almost as tanky.
And if you look at every one of these
options.
Sunderers they pull, the deployment Sunderers, they always have dual walkers, and they generally have 2 or 3 of them, so they already gain an air superiority in the area. At the very least, it scares off the enemy air force.
And they've already just gone straight into Quati Amp station. They're GSDing in to prep for a Quati Amp attack. I mean, maybe it'll cool, maybe we'll see. I really do like Quati Mountain Complex. I mean, that's bad for Connery, obviously, but we see that there's large fighting going for Raven Landing, which we're going to go check out. Their Axicom substation cap was being saved. The subterranean analysis cap still going through. Oh, no! Zealous West Dock is going to be gone. Zealous is going to drop, and that means the Biolab's going to happen.
Raven's Landing's a really hectic battle now, which kind of exemplifies everything. Emerald has a lot of force multipliers up. Sunderers with walkers keeping the air away.
Right,
you have a Liberator that's farming.
Oh, that's terrible. Zealous is... Now, see, here's an issue, guys. It's very dependent on the number of platoon leads you've got, how your force composition is. If Connery is only working on large groups, so they can only handle X number of lanes, when more lanes open up, it becomes very difficult as a platoon leader to split your forces equally. So, like, for example, if I'm a platoon leader who's responsible for the split peak lane pass from Zealous Biodock into Anatha, then there's a second lane that goes from Zealous along via SNA. And if I have to split my forces balance between the two, it's quite tricky. You know, it's quite awkward. Your mind gets blown with so much stress, so much working. You can't be in two places at the same time. So, but Emerald usually has a lot of leads, and they have smaller force compositions over multiple sections that they can bounce back and forth where they're necessary. I'm going to go to Raven's Landing now as we watch this. And this is where we can see it. Pressure is being applied. Connery is feeling the brunt of Emerald's attacks, in that Emerald is able to apply pressure where it's required, and they're taking bases. And we're only at like 20 minutes into this game, and what are they? They're 59 to 40 up as far as the map's currently telling me.
Got them on their heel.
And they own. In fact, okay, big push. 17 seconds to go from the spawn room. Runtime is about 15 seconds. And they're dawdling. Look at they're dawdling on the roof! They're just sitting there attacking!
They're getting EMPs.
They're not even moving forward. Do they not realise the severity of the timer? You don't stand there and just firefight on the roof.
The problem is that how do you push into this? The Emerald are making really...
It's simple. You point at the door and you press the W button. It's 15 seconds to go. It's nothing elegant. You press the G button to throw your grenades, typically in the direction of the camp point, and you just go in. Because of the short
This is why
timer.
you need to order you guys to wear EMP shield and have your own EMPs, because those EMPs are like Molotovs or...
Yeah, I'm not going to shame bail them there, because it was typically bad play, because you've managed to get these people into the spawn room, you've managed to run in a redeployment attempt, but at the same time, you then stop when there's like 7 seconds left in the cap. You have to just keep going. Even if you all get wiped, you got to go for that 2% chance where you actually somehow clutch play and get the capture point back. Yeah, so...
You've got to think about the morale of your guys as well, because if they're constantly charging into situations like that, getting mowed down...
Hey, well, they're being offensive. They're going from a Cal Auxiliary compound. That's great. They attack at subterranean analysis. That's going to be abandoned immediately. And we already see fighting going into
Look at Zealous. Look at the numbers there. It's going to be huge.
Well, yeah.
I'm going to fly over and
they're
have a look.
making a save at the moment. It's going back in their favour, but they are at number 2-1, but it's aware now. Looks like the Deep Core Geolab is being attacked, and Kwati Amp Station has been saved. So the lane numbers are actually... diminishing now as we condense back in, but it can still get pretty hectic. I'm going to go to Macau Auxiliary compound.
There's a lot. The problem with the save at Biolab though is I think Connery put a lot of maxes here to try and save it, which you can lose your low attrition because max is 450
I've
resources.
spoken to some of the leads from Emerald before, and they're contributing to Connery's team here. I actually think, like I keep saying, I think they've contributed some forces just to make sure Connery had a team today. I can be corrected later if that's not the case. But I don't mean to be condescending, but people can maybe take it as that. But do you think Emerald considers, I mean, they love Connery, but do you think it's their little brother, their little not so good playing brother that they have to help out? Because let me tell you now, there is no love between Cobalt and Miller. There's like Miller will
we never get any people from Cobalt.
No, and that's just friendly rivalry. I could call it friendly rivalry. Hey, there's love between. There's probably more love between Miller and Briggs, even with the latest drama hackers, crap that's going on, than there is between Miller Cobalt. It's fun though. But anyway, right now we see a very strong push by Emerald onto the. Now this is another thing I want to talk about, guys.
Thank you.
2 minutes to set up a defense at Macau Auxiliary compound. It's one thing strategically to decide where you're going to attack, right? So it's one thing to look at the map and say, you know what, I want to be offensive, so I'm going to attack Auxiliary compound. So me as the force commander for Connery says, right, platoon number 3, go from Arax station and attack Macau Auxiliary compound. As the platoon leader, however, you going to Macau Auxiliary compound, you have to decide, what is the best way to go there? Should I go as purely infantry and then just sit around the capture point? That is the worst option you can possibly do. You got to bring Sunders in. You got to do battle Sunders. You got to do maxes. You got to everything in line to anticipate I'm going to be outpopped by about 60%, maybe 70%, and they're going to bring maxes. And you have to have something in place that will decimate that attack force. And that wasn't there for Connery. And that's that level of preparedness and strategic force multiplier play that isn't quite there for Connery, and not all outfits are up to that level of capability. Not all of them look over their bases and see how to drive in, and that's just the level of preparation that certain teams do when they're playing. Not everyone's the same skill level, but it's just one of those things that if you want to play in ServerSmash, I highly recommend that if your force commander is saying, right, I want you guys to play in this general area, learn the area of the map, have your guys in your platoon learn the area of the map, and just be prepared for what the enemy is,
I'm watching a very sad story at Araxis Firearms score at the moment. I can see Hive, which are an ex-Connery outfit that moved to Emerald, killing their brothers. Their ex-brothers, I should say. Holding down the C point.
Well, they're NC, right? Or the TR?
No, that's, yeah. They don't have a reason to.
Well, they're just restoring order to the terrorists, depending on your point of view. It's all fine. Well, we're watching the 60 seconds to go in our XCOM substation, and to be honest, there's one deployed Sunder on the rear. Stealth Sunder. Okay, so this can't be obviously seen. Air control.
There's a Prowler bait that's been pulled, and it has the new weapons on top as well.
Dude, the Gatekeeper is massive. I was playing the Gatekeeper the other day, and I was the main tank, and it was on Indar, perfect tank country, and the Gatekeeper's on. And usually I flip between third person, single person, and holy crap, the Gatekeeper's huge, and it's taking up all my center field of view, which is not normally the case with the Vulcan or the Halberd. And I'm like, alright, okay, I'm just gonna have to play single player more. Anyway, in terms of Force multiplayers at Raxcom Substation, it's really just infantry. This actually plays into Connery's
favor. This is Stalingrad. This is pure infantry.
But the problem is that Connery is short in time and they can't do much, right? Harasser incoming for Emerald may make an influence, but the fact is they do have the vehicle pad. They do hypothetically were able, if this was like the 2-minute marker, to pull extra vehicles and do a sweep from behind with Sunder's, Lightning's, Viper, that type of stuff. But they're on the point and they are contesting it. It's not guaranteed yet because drop pod reinforcements for Emerald are coming out to it. It's very tentative. No multipliers. As you said, it's a meat grinder.
There's one harasser though.
But you've still got TR though. There's still plenty of TR to contest this point, and it's still not guaranteed. Alright,
I just
maybe
saw
now.
one TR and I felt a moment of brotherhood with him. He was stood still with gunfire going all around him. He was probably platoon leader checking his map. I felt that
Harassers with the Marauder just trying to get as many kills as possible. And runovers. Oh wow, he's still running everyone over. Alright, there we go.
Witness him, dude.
Shiny and chrome! Valhalla!
He resonates out as I can.
Witness. This TR just stood next to NC on the point. What's happening here?
No, it's good. Fantastically well done by Connery. They've done what is necessary. They're only at 53% and they've retaken the point. Emerald is still trying to apply pressure on the outside, and we can actually see this conga line going north. You see the conga line going north?
No, it's around the high ground.
Yeah, past the tank, and they're just going up to the high ground. I guess that kind of works. The stealth Sunder is located.
No, it's a really good idea because you run along this kind of corrugated
and take into the building?
Wall. No, you go along the wall and you stop them from using the teleport, because that teleport's a really good way to get to the point. But the actual main spawn room in this base is a bit of a meat grinder because you're in the low ground, and that's always a disadvantage. And so you can try and cut them off from the point.
One thing I was going to say about certain bases, guys, is there are a ton of bases. I mean, just look at the continent. There's a ton of bases, and I'll do a map recap in a second here, okay? So, if I was to say Moss Ravine, do you know every single secret nook and cranny of Moss Ravine? Do you know the deployment features perfectly? Do you know how to drive up the secret path into the sweet spot to deploy that Sunder can't be destroyed? You don't? Well, then you're a terrible player. That's not necessarily the case. It's just that even though I've been playing this game for years and years and years, right? There are certain bases, particularly in Hossen, where there are places to exploit or, well, gimmick or understand or know how to drive vehicles, how to gain, edges that not everyone's aware of. I mean, there must be, compared to PlanetSide 1 that had tens of bases, this game has hundreds of bases, and knowing each of them intimately is tricky, So I probably wouldn't boast knowing I know every single PlanetSide base, but I probably do. And spawn rooms, let's have a look at Connery. There's not a lot of them.
The TR Air Force has shown up at XCOM substation now. I think that's going to force.
Oh, dude, take the pops out. They're way outnumbered, 65 to 31. So they're balanced on the biolab, and that's basically it. Araxis Farms. Oh, look, overpop committal Araxis Farms. They're 58 to 42. Now, whether that's their Air Force or not, it's hard to say, but it's not making any difference right now to Araxcom substation.
Air Force needs to get to a Araxcom substation and clear out the TR, or at least keep them off the point. There, that is.
And yeah, I mean, the thing is, got Max. It's pretty painful long range. I mean, if you're gonna come out the spawn room, or they're even on the spawn room door. But I was gonna say you can come out from the south. You can grab vehicles. Look, there's no vehicles here, and you've got the vehicle terminal, right? Look, there's nothing. All right, Prowler on the top
side.
There's
a lot of air and Prowlers. Yeah, the Prowler.
Oh, the Prowler is absolutely ferocious because it's looking down on the vehicle pad.
That is such a good idea. That Prowler.
Yeah, that's good. But my point is, if I was infantry and I wasn't being bansheed to hell, I'd come out the building. Along with some cover, and then kind of come up in this approach or around. It's probably the only way you can actually approach because the hut is totally swarming, and there you go. I mean, the thing is, they had 2-to-1 number advantage. Now, Rex's firearms neutraled out, the biolab neutraled out, so where did that extra population go? Definitely not Ravens. Chimney Rock. Is that Air Force at Chimney Rock? There's no reason anyone's going to be fighting there. Deep Core Geolab's gone, and Hyoka Army is now being attacked, although they've got numbers to save that. Kwati Amp Station is still safe, but check this out. There was an attack in Kwati Pass, and it looks like the numbers have been repulsed. So it's generally balanced numbers-ish around the map, but Emerald is making it work in their favour. They put the numbers and pressure where it needs to be at the right time. If they fail to take a base, there's a thing called momentum. It doesn't matter. They've got tempo. Ooh, airbound.
And also planet side gives you an advantage if you're constantly attacking, because they can't re-attack until the timers re-tick down.
Yeah, so that's tempo play. So if I attack your base, but I only get it to like 30 seconds to go.
1 hour and 30 minutes remaining.
I have
now 19 minutes remaining.
Thank you, Jesus. I've got 3.5 minutes to come back and then counterattack. So I mean, it's lots of time for you to either go to a different lane and apply pressure there, or to re-attack and apply tempo.
Well, what Connery does have going for them now is as the bases get capped, they have a smaller and smaller front line to defend, so they can start reorganizing and then re-attacking. I
mean, I don't want this to be a runaway games, guys. We've seen runaway games before, and with 90 minutes to go, this could be a runaway game. But let's be clear here. Connery, if they can hold now at the tech plant, at Araxis Firearms, at the Biolab, at Kwati, that is 4 lanes. That's 4 lanes what we're at right now.
If they can not lose territory from now on, that probably means they're stabilized and they can keep holding it. If they keep losing territory, that they really need to
And the question is, we've seen them apply pressure and take bases back, but those have been highly exposed bases to Air Force. It's very, 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 I hesitate to use the word easy, but much simpler affair when it comes to choosing to attack a base. It's not as a sophisticated attack where you have to be very elegant in how you approach the vehicles, how you get set up, and make the attack. Wow, the Biolab is ferocious, and it looks like they were going for Zealous. I'm going to go check that out.
I just saw some really nice tactics on the Emerald side, actually. Some outfits, 903M and WOF1, don't know who they are, but they have a stealth.
What do you think the final score is? Yeah, sorry, I don't mean... Yeah, I didn't see the stream, so I guess you can watch the VOD on PS2 if you missed that bit. What do you think the final score is going to be today? Like, do you think Emerald's going to win this, or do you think Cobalt's going to come back, Connery's going to come back and grab that?
Just going from the play at the start, I think Emerald's won this, honestly. But you can never predict these things.
You can never say, but I'm going to ask you to make a call. Give me a number. What do you think the percentage number?
If you ask me from what I've seen so far, what I think the percentage would be, I'd say 83. 83, 16.
Is Roy leading today? Because it can't be 83 if Roy's leading. Oh, okay, fair enough.
But though these Emerald guys had 4
Oh wow, check Banana, max push. There's a lot of maxes in Banana, I don't know what they're doing. I mean, they've got all 3 capture points, Connery. The problem for Connery, this is very difficult because they have to take Zealous North, get back, and they have to take Zealous West up before the Biolab gets saved, which means there will be perpetual fighting in this Biolab. Because they'll never allow you. Because if you move any population at the Biolab will be captured way faster than you get any of these sub bases. So you need to small forces to tick it down before you can apply numbers.
AV grenades up there. AV grenades up there. There we go. We're pushing.
Well, okay, Rex's Firearms is presumably been saved because look at that, 24 to 48 over Raven's Landing, and looks like they're also counter-attacking a Deep Core Geolab. That I definitely want to see. I want to see a Connery attack here. See what they can give us.
It's a really nice hold by Connery in the by holding the generator building as well in the Biolab. They need to get more people in here though. They've just been pushed out.
Okay, so
but
here's the thing, right? Apologies, do go ahead. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I say with Biolab, if you can hold the good places like the power building, keep the landing pads, you can fight 60-40 easily, and that's what Connery really needs to be doing. So this is the base they can abuse.
A little bit of a known fact here in the stream: you can actually drive a Sunder up and around into this little section here. You can actually drive a Sunder into the sort of generic area, which, good or bad, I don't know, because you can get killed from so many different directions. But it gives you spawn immediately on the point, and you can actually block off the entrance to the point by going in front of the door. Maybe not everyone's aware of that, but the fact is, this is the crucial couple of minutes here. These first 2 minutes where they've got population advantage, they have to anticipate Air Force, they have to anticipate galaxies and maxes and reinforcements. Maybe not enemy vehicles, because due to the nature of the terrain of the base of Deep Core Lab, but as the attackers, this being Connery now, what do? And at the moment, it's all beacons, and it's all infantry with Sunders deployed on the outskirts, but not cloak Sunders, as far as I can tell, because I'm on a TR character. They're just exposed characters that can be bombed. So the Air Force is going to get rid of the spawn options, and then infantry from Emerald is going to turn up and then just wipe them clear, because there's no solid, defense to fall behind. I'll be very impressed if Connery takes this, simply because it's not like a convincing attack, if that makes sense.
The problem is as well is beacon spawns are really slow, and you're going to get attrition anyway. People are going to get picked off, and you really want a fast spawn option that doesn't get. You want to save that beacon for the last second when everyone gets wiped. You need to drop back on point just to make sure it goes through.
I mean, this is
you don't want to
infantry.
be using spawn.
Yeah, I mean, they got infantry, and I guess they're doing a somewhat of a defense in depth in that they're off the point slightly closer to the spawn room. Let's see if any other bases are going through while we're watching this.
And
No.
it's good that you mentioned defense depth as well, because it's I don't want to get too milsim in planet side, but when you have an overpop attack, you're fighting against high population. You really have to take a position beyond the point, so that when they start rushing in, you can make them stop firing you and fall back.
That was an interesting mosquito. Okay, it's still going good now. The one light assault just got rid of both the squad beacons now for the NC. They need to get that redeployment up. And now they're into this crucial point of 70 seconds. What have you got left to survive the 70 seconds? Because ultimately, it only takes, what, 15-ish, maybe 20 to run from the spawn room? So you need to get yourself time. You need to somehow buy time on this cap point. And I'm surprised that Emerald hasn't come here. Now, there's a galaxy overhead, so I mean, I don't know if they're going to drop people or not. More people coming from the spawn room. The thing is, the Air Force now is pounding and keeping the Connery guys indoors, away from general harassment for anything of the Emerald TR coming towards the point.
This is strange, but for some reason the NC area is at the Biolab. It's not at Deep Core or Vati or Rexus firearms. Maybe I don't think that's the best use of the Air Force.
Okay, so half squad turning up. They're right outside the capture point. 30 seconds to go. Connery's inside the building. Wow! Spitty the Spitfire turret is defending the cap point. Oh, is he gonna get the engineer? No, it doesn't get the kill. But the thing is, look at this. Squad of maxes, a couple of maxes, 4 maxes, and infantry come to the point. Looks like Connery's got reinforcements, or maybe that's just a TR motion sensor, but look, 30 seconds to go, and they're all inside the building, not necessarily the capture point where it really matters. And they didn't have any maxes.
They have a Liberator up with the TR, which is just having the farm as well.
Well, the Air Force is what got rid of all the spawns, the Connery guys, so the Connery guys weren't able to bring in reinforcements, they'd have to fly it in. Now, it's still in their favour, they still have tempo, so Connery totally can still do this, but they need to get bodies towards the point and dominate this TR max group, because the maxes, which by the way are being supported with engineers, which is very important. It's not one thing to have a max, you need to have it properly backed up. They've got the point, and the longer they hold on to this, the harder and harder it's going to get. They've still got more mosquitoes coming to corners. This is just brutally painful. All of these Connery guys have obviously spawned back in, maybe with a drop or with a beacon, so their spawn options are going to be severely limited in terms of minutes. Yeah, I don't see how they can pull this off now. But you have to play. You can see what I'm getting at, Shirkity. You have to play for that last 60 seconds. You could have something there that lets you dominate the battle. You can't just be, pushed around.
You can't just assume that they're going to make a mistake and let you take it off them.
Yeah.
Like, you have to assume they're going to know that you have, at the very least, that many infantry, and they're going to play assuming that that's what you have. So you have to have an ace in the hole.
So it's 63 to 36. Do you think go ahead, sir. You're saying ace in the hole.
I said you have to have an ace in the hole. Like either you reinforce with another squad from your platoon, or you have Sunderers and a lot of force multipliers that make them make a mistake when they think how many people they have to bring there to push you off.
So I'm currently looking at Rax's firearms, and there's 2 points being held by TR, and this Emerald TR is attacking it. And the fact is, Rax's firearms is realistically the only air pool that kind of plausibly works. Because the Biolab's so heavily contested, or was heavily contested, that's a dangerous place to pull. You either pull from the Warp Gate or you pull from Rax's firearms. The Emerald TR's got the Ascent, they've got Crux. You don't really want to pull from the tech plant, that's just awkward. Lithcorp, I think, has an air pool, right? Lithcorp secure
does. Yeah, I think it does.
Yeah, and you've got Quati Amp Station to pull air, but it's kind of jump padding at this spawn room.
The problem with amp stations is it's pretty slow to get to the airpad.
And then you're pretty exposed as well in terms of the air pool, on the terminal.
Show me what you're made of.
So 53% for Connery. They're not going to lose their access, and if anything, it doesn't look like they're going to lose the Biolab. We may be in for a 1 hour and 20-minute PTSD Zealous Biolab fight.
Well, this is really nice play by Connery. They've fallen back. They've obviously lost the advantage at the start, but they've fallen back to some really stronghold defense bases like Rax's firearms, you should never lose, like Zelas, and
they can counter-attack though. The thing is that it's difficult for Emerald now because these are large, difficult, defendable bases. With the exception of Deep Core, they could technically push up to Heyoka and get up to the tech plant, right? so the population territory control could go slightly higher in their favor. But in terms of Connery's perspective, if Connery can get themselves together and they can master how to attack bases, like bringing the right forces and the right tools to the right base, there's tons of territory to be retaken. From Kauai Yam Station, you go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 bases that could be repushed. You could get Deep Core, that's 7. You can go over Raven's Landing, Lithcorp Central, and Rockslide. That's another 3. Araxicom Substation, Macalla Ox is another 2. Zealous West Oak and Zealous North are also another 2 that could hypothetically be taken because they're small outposts. Yeah, okay, I just read chat, this is boring. Dude, I'm looking at stalemate fights. What do you want me to do? Do you want me to... I realise chat's 2 minutes behind here. Do you want me to go to the Biolab or the Firearms? Find me a decent fight, Strickety, because right now I'm just watching Araxis Firearms as there's basically a meat grinder going on between the doorway.
I think all the fights are meat grinders at the moment because both sides have been trenched, or Connery has been trenched, and Emerald are trying to, dig them out of these positions they've made.
So, would Emerald, assuming it has the ability, are they happy to stay on 60-odd%?
I think you should go to Zealous West Airdock because Connery are counterattacking there at least, I think.
Did that go in there? So my question is that would Emerald say this is as far as we're going to push, we're not going to push any further, to Connery? Or are they thinking, we need as much territory as we can get our hands on?
You never stop pushing because defending in far side is attacking. You want to put time on their bases, and if you capture it, it's just a positive bonus. So, as a commander, you never.
This is a tenuous attack if ever there was one. I mean, look, there's 50-50 numbers, and they're probably all inside. They've got 1 max and a bunch of scruffy infantry. I say that mainly because they're being bombarded with explosives and grenades and whatnot, and it's very difficult to keep your health and shields up.
Why the Air Force was here for the defense of the Biolab, and now it's not here for the attack.
Yeah, so the fact is, Connery's Air Force, I'm guessing, has been pushed off. But if you want to take this base, you need air control, or you need the enemy not to bombing you. The reason you need air control, as I slightly fall back here, is you need to control the ground along this ridgeline and here. You need to be fighting outside the capture building at defense in depth. You cannot defend inside the capture building because it's just a grenade magnet, and you're all going to take splash damage and get nuked. And it looks like the key, the Emerald Air Force, and would need to ask Robertino because he's basically following the whole game here, is in complete control. At least when they want to fight in a particular area, that's where they're going to fight. I'm going to go over to Kauai Amp Station and check that out now before we go back to Firearms, because it looks like Firearms are where the biggest grinding's going on.
It looks like Kauai Amp Station Emerald has the harasser force and a few vehicle forces there, and they're just kind of fighting a small vehicle-based fight with Connery, which is pretty unusual. You don't see many vehicle fights in ServerSmash.
It's such a dinky little bit. There's a stealth sunder for the TR up high on the base, and it gives them like height advantage they can look down upon. It's actually really, really powerful. Now, if I'm Emerald,
putting mana ray T-turrets there as well, and just wiping the enemy armor with them.
Yeah, and it even gives them a viewpoint of anything that Connery's trying to do. I mean, they tried to pull a sunder push towards it, but they got totally repulsed before they even got into the channel, the road. And wow,
the unique thing about that as well is they had that sunder up like 20 minutes ago. They've been planning that for a long time.
That stealth sunder that the TR has, that is perfect for what Connery wants. Connery wants to destroy that sunder, come in along the north, set up, and then have another sunder outside the capture point, but basically get the high hills and then work their way down. From a tactical point of view, that's probably the best way of approach. Actually, you can't really drive up here as far as I can tell. And no, they're going to lose their sunder as well, which is a shame. Yeah, so that
it looks
Sunder,
like a really brave lone Emerald Sunderer is trying to shield defuse in.
No, well actually they've got some Sunderers inside already.
There. They pulled them inside.
Oh, and we're inside.
This is the weird thing about
they're capping the point now, so
well.
The fighting
stations basically favour the attacker because the shields on the doors protect the Sunderers more than protect the base.
Wouldn't it be good, and this would be abused to hell, right, if there was like a switch. You know how in Heoka Chemical Lab, right, there's a switch you can turn the energy shields off.
So you have those for shield doors as well?
Yeah, to turn the shield doors off. The thing is, anyone in an alt is going to go in, turn the shields off and drive in, but you can understand the concept where you could turn the shields off temporarily, just so you can kill all the stuff.
Yeah, because in situations like this, the shields are a disadvantage to the defender. You don't want them. Oh, and again, I saw look in and managed to C4 Sunderer.
Yeah, but let's be clear here. He's using 200 nanites to attack a Sunderer that costs 200 nanites, and it isn't going to kill it. Unless you use a rocket there.
He detonated.
So in terms of nanite investment, like if I'm an engineer and I'm doing AV mines like right now, which the Sunderer just despawned, lol, And he's just got AV mines doing nothing now. Look how much he spent there. He would have spent like 300 resources. Oh, nice.
Ooh,
nice chain. Well done, that Connery engineer. I take it back. That was worth it. That was 200 nanits and he got 400 out of it.
Hashtag
but typically, that's not, that's not normally often frequently you would see. Like, all I'm trying to get at is that if an engineer's got, you know, utility belt, it's got 5 AV nades, or 5, you know, AV mines, that's 500 resources to take down one vehicle.
What's weird is none of these Emerald Sunderers have blockade armor, even though they pulled them from inside.
Mine guard, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
That's what I would go with.
I'd favor blockade, honestly, because you're more likely to get C4 unexpectedly than mines unexpectedly.
Yeah, I mean, you're kind of right there, and yeah, the last one. I mean, Connor's doing a good job here at mopping up, basically abusing the AV mags through the shields and just nuking them all down. Now, speaking while we're talking here, actually, Hyoka outskirts, Hyoka army is ticking down pretty low.
And that's a really horrible base to attack into as well.
Yep, because it truly is a massive meat grinder, and if you bring maxes, which, okay, there's some maxes.
They're doing it right, though. They're dropping the roof with a Galaxy, which is really good. You want to get a force on the roof. They want to push them from underneath while you're pinning them down
They
the
need
roof.
their own max to just pick apart, but they need their own maxes to be supported as well. EMP grenade down in and push.
18 TR holding the second story. They could easily push this. But they need to do it unified. The platoon leader needs to organize the squads together and push it once.
Well, no, they're down, they're in. They're trying to rocket the max. The max is just being painful here. Maybe a sticky AV nade or sticky grenade on the max, but this one max with the engineer butt buddy on behind them, he's just wiping out all the NC. Oh, and they get hit from behind with an infiltrator. They did push down. They were threatening the capture point, but just a little bit too late enough. Well, that's another base now for... Now we really are at all the large outposts. You're on the tech plant, which is already...
I'd say the tech plant's probably the most dangerous one, though, because the attackers can really get a nice setup in a tech plant, and there's not much you can do about it, other than bringing in a lot of population.
We'll go back to Rax's Firearms very briefly.
It looks like it's going to be retaken because there's 60% NC pop there now. Same with the biolab. But why is Kavati still ticking? Is Kavati still ticking down, or is it being resecured?
Well, let's have a look. No, it's actually still being captured on 63%.
And the SU is overloaded as well. I don't know what's going on here.
So, like,
they've somehow got Sunderers back inside.
Well, they would just crash back in, wouldn't they? I mean, if you were the Connery guy, surely you want to come in with your own Sunderers rather than coming as infantry. I mean, infantry's the desperate play when you're short in time, but they're not short in time yet. So you can come in with your own Sunderers, even if you just poke the tail in and then shoot the guy. Well, light assault flying in, I suppose that kind of works, but with proxy repairs, it's very expensive. You can't keep that up all the time. And you're right, the SU is going to go down in about 22 seconds.
They've got people resecuring, I think. It shouldn't go down unless they mess up somehow.
Oh yeah, guys, the API is not working, so it's 64 to 35 now if you want to repeat the score as far as in-game is concerned. If you're Connery right now, I think the overriding rule is, in the tournament, I'm here to have fun. I'm here to play, and I'm here to enjoy myself. I'm gonna get beaten pretty badly here by Emerald. Unlikely it's gonna make a difference. So realistically speaking, what are you doing here? Well, we're here just to enjoy the game.
Well, I think Connery can still get through. They just need to not lose as badly as Cobalt have.
Right, and then just beat Cobalt in the...
Yeah, exactly.
That'll be an interesting game.
Because that will be the knockout game. Cobalt and Connery will probably be the game that decides the people who go home.
For anyone wondering what we're talking about, we're basically talking about the playoffs. Of the 5 teams we have, the top 4 go into the playoffs with the
Sorry if I shoot you.
first and second team, based mainly on wins, is going to get seeding priority. 3rd and 4th then get played by appropriately, and then the 5th, unfortunately, pack their bags and are out of the tournament. Oh well, the SCU's been saved. 1 minute and 25.
The point is flipping. Who's managed to do
Light
that?
assault. Yeah. Oh no, they've come from the top shield. They come in down from the top shield and came
that's
from
a really
behind.
smart move.
No, that is the best way, and that's one of the most difficult things to actually defend against when you're TR or when you're the attacking team. Is the shield from the roof down straight onto the cap point.
We've got the numbers. Get on that fucking point. We've got this.
But they're getting flanked from both the
Yeah,
sides.
I'm listening to proxy chat from Emerald, and they're saying how they got the point back, and they do got numbers, and they are spawning in on their Sunderers. They're here. and they're fighting on the point, and they've got the point, 1 minute 30, and you can see through the shield. Look how many they're in through. There's like 5 guys from Connery just standing on the other side. They need like a concatenate or a flashbang or an EMP, or they need to build up the forces and get 12 guys, or they need a max. They need like a Scaramax or something. And like, what I understand is like there's one heavy assault that just charged him by himself for Connery, and that's just not helpful. You need like a pack group. Although check the light assault out behind the point, he's being annoying.
Oh
Nearly
my
got it.
God. Oh, he's down, yeah.
Check the vehicles on the ground floor though. Look at this, the Vanguard's on the V-pad, and the vehicle terminal is still...
They spawned something underneath him!
Exactly, that's my fear. He's going to lose the Vanguard because of the spawn.
Saddest Vanguard 2015. And they have a harasser with the new shotgun weapon on top, but no one's going to...
it's too late now. Look at the numbers now. Now Connery said, no, you can't have this. And they've come in pretty seriously. But the tech
base
plant
is now out of play for 6 minutes. Like, you cannot attack.
You have to stay in defense. And this is the thing, guys, when we're talking about tempo and lane shifting. Right now, Emerald has a choice of not coming back here for 6 minutes. So Connery has to stay here and defend regardless. You need a bare minimum, otherwise Emerald can come back and take it, and it's a much shorter base capture. But it means that, for example, if you're Emerald, you can dump all your population into Hoyoka Tech Plant that was at Kuwati. You might even dump some of your population that was at Firearms. Because the timer of the Tech Plant has now reduced by 4 minutes, it's a quick cap timer, and all your 50-50, if you've got people on the way, that's you applying tempo in other races.
They have a Marauder harasser on the balcony as well, and a Marauder harasser on gun deck.
Now that's smart. Now, unless they get a tanker...
But Europa wouldn't be happy because there's no Science Center on the top deck.
There's no Sunder here either. That's me disappointed.
Yeah. They have one blocking up the vehicle bay though, for some reason, one side. That's strange, never seen that before. And the vehicle bay is absolutely stout with Sunderers. I think unless Connery does something major at the tech plant, they're going to lose it. This is a really good defense from Emerald. Generally when they make the last minute push as well, you see people use the unshielded doors. I think some people call them double doors. They grab lifts, which is just the most horrifying place to push. It's like the charge of the light brigade. Because the enemy has the high ground, they have that balcony, and they shoot down on you, and you just
There's no easy way to do this. The best way is
exactly.
Probably the balcony push. If you can get some maxes and then the balcony push, that is the best way to do it. And the defending forces here, the attacking forces I meant to say, SCU stand, just noticed that, is, so they can't spawn in, they're going to have to fly in. Oh, this is bad. Teoka's going to go down.
Yeah, I didn't even notice the SCU gone down. That's
and this is the problem.
Pretty horrible.
The problem is that even though technically for Connery this is good because they've only got 4 bases and they have easier to defend, they have to win their 50-50 fights. They're not winning when they've got population advantage, and they're. It's like with the population shifting by Emerald, they're basically not ticking down 1 base; they're ticking down like 3 bases. And if they can tick down 3 bases, even if 2 of them get repulsed and saved, all the numbers just dump on the 3rd base and force it through. Because the cap timer is so low. It's very difficult for Connery to regain tempo when the cap timers are being so heavily pushed. Again, oh wow, okay, so Sunder on the bomb. Do you deploy? For Connery? Threat's going to be noticed.
Look at how much pop Connery having to
wow,
move on,
it's a stealth Sunder.
Well.
So there's a stealth Sunder underneath. Fair game. 25 seconds to go. They've got the spawn options. People can spawn in. Distance is not too terrible from Kuwati, for example. Distance is probably too far away for... Yeah, it's 2.5k. Yeah, so that's not going to be... We can't spawn in because of the friendly spawn options. But, it's 20 seconds. Oh, hello, cap point. So very briefly, light assault came over, threatened the point. Immediate response for Emerald, resonated on the point for Connery, not enough. Back to 18 seconds, Emerald is condensing on the point. Only now is Connery beginning to spawn in. With 11 seconds to go, they need to run on the point. They cannot dilly-dally, they cannot run. Where are you going? Where are you going? You can't run around the side, you got 5 seconds to go. You gotta go for the point itself. Well, now they got boys on the point.
Yeah,
it's not enough, and this is not enough. And that's that. And if it came down to 1 person who ran around the side...
Even worse, look at Arax's firearms score on the map.
Oh, that is brutal. It's just going downhill now for Connery, because once you lose these large outposts, it becomes small outposts again, and they're not necessarily the easiest.
Even
to defend.
worse, this is like a trifecta of pain. The forces they pulled out of Kavati to go and try and save Hyoka now means that Emerald has gone back into Kavati. Yep.
And they've got it
That's
again.
3 bases.
And it's not now a 7-minute base capture, it's now a 3.5-minute base capture, and it's all about just Emerald doing what Emerald does, tempo, play, and pressure.
They just ground them down basically over time until they didn't have the physical amount of time to defend the bases.
No, I really want Connery here to play this out. I want you to enjoy the game as best as you can. I've had stats of truly the kill graphs guys and the top players and whatnot, but I can't because the API is a bit messed up today. Let's have a look, let's try.
The facility is ours.
And Rax's firearms has gone through, which is bad.
That may be accurate, it might not be accurate, who knows? Maelstrom, is this accurate? Which you can come tell me in 2 minutes. I don't know.
Hey Farrett. So we thought we'd come to the main channel and just talk a bit about the air game and what we've seen so far.
Sure. Hey Seb, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm doing fine, mate.
So why don't you tell me about the Air Forces in play?
Yeah, what we've been seeing, mostly we've been following the airfights here, and it seems like actually Connery have come out ahead when it's like airfights going at each other, but they've been struggling to translate that into helping out the ground forces. Like they'll kill off the Mozzies, but then they'll not really help out the ground. They're just looking for more Mozzies to kill. So if they find a way to translate their air power into helping the ground, I think they can stop some of the bleeding at least going on in the territory right now.
Yeah, but it's painful. They've lost firearms, they've lost Hyoka in the last few minutes. These are like halfway through the game, they can get dominated here. The problem is that now that Rax's firearms has been controlled, High Roads and Barrack Electrical, you're going to start cutting off territory. I mean, it's going to get very painful very quick because you've got Rax's firearms. If they can push High Roads, Barrack Electrical, and Aramax, it cuts off all of the territory on the left side of the map. It's just absolutely brutal. And the fact is, I don't see how Connery can stop this. This does not mean being necessarily negative of them. It's just, Emerald in this game has just been rampant. I mean, and you're saying with the air, they're getting some sort of air control, but it's just not. Are they all like air-to-air setups, or do any of their guys have like an air-to-ground or that type of support?
We have mostly seen air-to-air. We've seen Coyotes and lock-on missiles. There have been a fair few of Hornet missiles, but they've mostly been engaged in air-to-air fighting for the whole match.
Okay. Well, I'm currently looking at Hyoka Chemical, and I'm just watching the defense here. Have the air battles been good to watch at least? As we quiet, it's going to go down in 35 seconds. Go check that out. Have the air battles been decent to watch, and from a spectator point of view, or?
Yes, it is accurate.
Oh, okay. Thank you, man.
The only thing that doesn't work is facility shit in the minute.
Okay, thank you. We'll go back to weapons and kills in a sec. Wow, check down Kwai-Yamp. Even though the Kwai-Yamp, the SU is down, that's why they can't get back. Because the long flight time and the air control over Hyoka and Hyoka Chemical is making it very difficult. And it's such a long, obscure reinforcement time. Even though the shields are down, there's just spawn options, Sunders, and they've barely got anyone here. They've got a bare skeleton crew. Hell, you could fly a Valkyrie in the freaking doors and land on the point, and you could probably make a save if you were that desperate.
Okay.
Emerald, Connery have lost all 3 of those major bases that they really shouldn't lose.
Biolab's a Biolab and the RNC. If they lose Zealous, then all hope is lost. Yeah, and we can see the High Roads is maybe a distraction cap going on, but Hyoka Chemical is now beginning to tick down. Let's go check that one out.
A huge air force just left the Connery warp gate. I think they're off to defend High Roads.
Thing is, if you send too big of an air force to a certain base, it prevents the defenders from actually spawning in. And I realize there's not many defenders here, guys, and it's kind of a boring-ish stream. There's not much fighting going, but I am really just curious whether or not Connery brings numbers in to save Hyoka Chemical.
Come to High Roads if you want as well. There's a decent fight here. It's an outpost Emerald, but they're making a nice defense. Or attack, but they're defending the point at the moment.
One tactic we have seen from Connery is the use of the repair gals and the ammo gals. There's constantly been 3 of them all grouping together as a mobile, like command point, so to speak. I haven't seen this much in ServerSmash, but yeah, it seems quite effective. Quite a lot of reavers, and we're coming back to it and falling back.
Apparently,
using it quite well.
That technique was first done by Briggs, and I completely ignored it in the stream, and that was my bias against Briggs because I completely ignored Redlid when he was talking. It was like, oh yes, wow, they're using this amazing galaxy technique, double them, blah blah blah, backing each other up. That was before the repair thing was the thing, and it was just guys backing themselves up, and I was like, oh, look at this base over here. So credit due to where credit's due. Briggs apparently was the first guys to set that up. And 20 seconds to go, and then High Roads is now finally going to be saved. Yes, oh wow, but check the kind of conga line of bodies coming in from the right side. This entire convoy of NC vehicles from Connery going to the left hasn't noticed the Sunder on the right, and it's mouthed Emerald.
1 hour remaining in the match. Now, 60 minutes remaining.
I think there's going to be peekaboo around the corner.
Ooh. I just put the desktop on.
So, I'm seeing quite a huge Connery Air Force over Zealous Biolab. It looks like they're trying to support their families inside the biolab and actually start pushing up this lane.
With an Air Force on a biolab.
Believe it or not. You know you've got the elevator bug thing.
This was a really nice re-attack by Emerald on
oh no! I'm firing at people! I'm influencing the game! Oh wow, I hit someone. It was my own team, it counts, right?
Now,
how do I get rid of the elevator bug?
Out
in and out the other side. Right, done. I'm in and out the other side. There we go.
Mail the WebSocket, the page says 69 Connery and 9001 Emerald.
Is it?
It's over 9,000! Did you deliberately do that?
As an effect, Goku have hacked the percentage territory score and give themselves over 9,000. Disgusting.
Well, that's pretty brutal. That's Illuminati confirmed. Bazzino, where are you, dude? Seriously, do you not see the signs we're showing you right now?
Abuse.
Seriously,
Vegeta from Goku has affected our ratings.
Right, so 2.5 minutes, 53% population. Look, Cobalt, what the hell are they doing there? Nothing. Connery's got population advantage slight, but it's Emerald's on top side. Now, the problem is Emerald doesn't have like force multipliers like they do here, and if anything, the Air Force here is definitely in Connery's favour. Looks like the Sunder they had is gone. There's no spawn beacon, so it's all
they're doing a really good job, though.
But it's
when
all
they see these aircraft,
strong
they're shooting them. They're just shooting them with the guns. And it sounds stupid, but if enough people shoot Reavers with guns, they will explode, and they can't just sit there and hand their army. Shooting them with the guns, and it sounds stupid, but if enough people shoot Reavers with guns, they will explode, and they can't just sit there and hand their army.
Yeah, and it's working with Beacon spawning. No maxes. I mean, Connery can come in here from the spawn room because they've got air control. They're not going to be molested from outside. And if they come in as a team with a max or two, with engineer support or two, and just a couple of heavies and whatnot, and not going piecemeal one at a time, they can crush this TR force.
Okay, so we're going to hop back to our own channel.
Okay, bye here guys. If you want to see more of Seb from Miller and Robert from Miller and me from Miller and Tricky from Miller, like, if you haven't realised now, it's freaking Miller Illuminati, then you need to go to Planetside Battles 3 if you want to watch the air game, guys.
Okay, see you guys.
Oh wow, now Maxes finally have turned up. 1 AV Max and 1 Scaramax perhaps. Grenades going in. Are they going to go inside? Nope. Still being repulsed. Wow, it's very tentative. It's like they're poking at the door. That when you choose to breach, you breach. You don't half-pansy it.
And because they were half-handing it, a TR Heavy just went around and uppercutted 3 guys with a pump
action. I mean, I like
NC getting killed by shotguns. Now that just shouldn't happen. That's poor show. Shame, I think.
I didn't see on camera, so no. Not yet. But if you lose this base, it's shame. There's no force multipliers. This is a straight up population hold on the double building. I know I'm going to sound critical here to Connery, but you shouldn't be losing this. You had air control, you've got surrounding vehicle base control, you've got the ability to resupply your grenades on the spawn room control, and you've got the ability to get maxes. No reason why you should lose this. So yes, the enemy's got beacons, but with infiltrators, you can, I don't know, EMP their crap down. They're condensed in a building. You can EMP all their shields down as you're going in.
Grenade or any explosive.
Any like collective explosive stuff, but going in piecemeal one at a time. I understand. Getting numbers is an issue.
Why is the heavy running in and the max is sitting backwards? The heavy got to the point. Two heavies got to the point. If they'd done that earlier, they might have retaken it. But
I really want Connery to do well. I really, really do want Connery to do well. I want them to have fun. I want them to enjoy themselves. But as a player, I don't know if I'd have fun here if I don't feel like my squad, my team is working. Look, this is so late. The max now turns up from the backside, and they're able to get the capture point back and start flipping it. But it's like it wasn't like this is like a 30-second. You know, last minute desperate play. No, they had 3 minutes, 4 minutes.
Connery going to take West Air Dock though. Connery going to take West Air Dock. It's 30 seconds now.
Oh, nice. Yes, go Connery.
They have Air Force, yeah. They have Galaxy, but a huge max crash from TR moving into the point though.
So where's their air control? Oh, but look at the... Yeah, they've got the resecure because they've got the control. But if your Air Force is going to be in the surrounding area, then this would be where to put it because it's so exposed for the infantry to come in.
And they're going to lose 2 bases at once now, though. Tuma's Cargo and Chimney Rock, which is... I don't know, it's pretty horrifying. Tuma's tech plant's now cut off as well, which is less than ideal.
And see, it's at least one Reaver turns up with breaker rocket pods, and oh man, and he just gets minigunned down by everyone firing at him. But it's too little too late. When you realise that the capture point is no longer yours, there's no point staying there rocketing. All you're doing is stat padding.
It's all about your KD, though, in this game. Oh, but that handful stats is down now, so stats doesn't mean anything anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow, Tuma's tech plant's cut off. Tuma's Skylines.
Yeah, I said it's kind of problematic for them now if they don't have that.
Oh, because the Chimney Rock and the yeah, that's already plummeted their percentage down. You can see Cobalt Com is taken down. Ooh, Kwati Mountain Complex. I like that base. We'll go there and have a look at that.
That base is horrifying.
Well, it's horrifying because of one corridor. The whole base is really well designed except from one bit. You can't go on the outside if you're the defenders. You can take the teleporter and come in from behind, which we frequently see, but there's one horrendous corridor from the spawn room that comes into an L-shaped angle door. I'll show you in a second here. Thing is, this is a base just like Subterranean Analysis. The Sunders are all exposed. And we can see this with Harasser Force from Connery, and this must be the new gun. What's the new gun on the Harasser called for the NC?
Oh, I don't know. It's like a box shotgun thing.
It's just... It's like a heartbeat of the Doctor from Doctor Who. Not that matters.
Oh, with the double hearts.
Yeah. No, it's the 4 beats. That's basically what it sounds like. And they're basically trying to nuke down Sunders, but they're slowly getting picked off with the defenders. Right, but we're going to go inside now because that's what we want to see. And I'll show you the horrendous corridor to everyone who's watching that I'm harping on about. This corridor. Right here. So this is horrendous because you as a defender are coming in on a long... There's an infiltrator! Where is he? What's he doing? Oh, this is great. Infiltrator on the spawn room corridor. Here we go. No? You don't want to kill him? Alright, what about the next guy? Anyway, this corridor is horrendous because as you're coming along here and you have to go around that right corner, the defenders can just defend that to hell, and it's just absolutely, tremendously, terrifyingly bad. Right, what about the medic? Gonna kill the medic? No? Yes? Ooh, nice. Okay, reload.
I'm at Cobalt Communications at the moment, and this is bad. It could go down to 112. 112 from Emerald. It's at 20 seconds now. Emerald only have 6 guys here.
Infantry's got jackhammered in the face. Face you. Right, I'm gonna come to Cobalt Com as quick as I can.
It's fine. I think they've been pushed off. Oh, no, they got a resonate out.
Tentative.
Yeah, they finally got pushed off, but they wasted so much time for just to be 5 TR guys there.
Small numbers making the push, and the fact is, if you want to dump population on Cobalt Com, you can do that, because it's no longer a 4-minute base capture. However long it takes you to get your guys there, it just becomes like a 60-second base capture if you can get there within a minute.
But even worse, look at the warp right
Tumas.
now. Fire electrical.
This is getting
bad. They're gonna go for the throat. They're gonna go for the throat and try and warp it.
And the tech plant's a freebie, and they don't even need that many people there, to be honest. And the Skylance is it's slightly contested, but you can't spawn in. You have to fly in, and that's very, very awkward. Quiet Mountain Complex is saved. I'm gonna go to Barrack Electrical because that's really where it's gonna happen next.
And do they have the Sunderers on the point? Because if they do, then that base is gonna be horrible.
Yeah. So if you've never been to Barrack Electrical, guys, It's one of those cool water feature bases, but it's underground or under building, and if you can get Sunders inside, which is entirely possible, it's knowing your bases, it's just terrible. As the team that has to fight against embedded vehicles, it's horrendous. So you basically come in over here, and you drive your vehicles in, as we'll show it right now.
And being Emerald, of course, there's a Sunder inside. There's a second one that managed to drive in right now, but he's gonna get, I think he's going to get blown up.
Oh, I heard Proxy Check asking for bus reps. Second Sunder trying to get in. Repair Sunder, nope, he's down as well. Very difficult to get in, especially considering how you're forcing to go through a lot of infantry from Connery. But it's an absolute murder field here. Just crossfire. And you have to go into maxes. It doesn't matter if you've got like an EM6 200 bullets going around the corner just popping heads off. You can't fight in a max face-on-face, although rocket strikes to the face are pretty decent. And in the other direction, the one Sunder did make it in is just pounding in the solo door. So it's 60 seconds to go, or under 60. Oh, I love this shoulder height room here. This is some of the best firefights you could ever want. But it's still, I'd say, in favour of the attackers here, because they've got such a defensive position with 40 seconds to go. Connery needs to rally. And this is the difficult thing, because Emerald's applying pressure with maxes and longer range fire. I'm not seeing like a cohesive max force for the Connery guys. It's mainly just infantry.
Call this tactical superiority.
I'm watching it. I just saw a medic try to knife a TR Max. That's the definition of desperation.
If he was out of ammo.
Knife a Max.
Collapse the point. 10 seconds. Stay alive on point.
Okay, big push here by Connery. Going the far side. They are close to the point. They are technically. There's huge calls from Emerald to get on point.
Like
it's not enough people. They're on the point, but it's not enough. Oh man, that's painful.
And that's the worst feeling in the world, right? When you get to the point 2 seconds after it's slipped.
Oh no! The worst thing in the game is getting to the point. I'm on the point. Why isn't the point flipping? And you're like, oh right, it's the 10 guys from the hostiles right in front of me. You've not got enough people on the point to flip, because it's the number of people at the point when you get there. So it's not enough to make it. You need to then kill off the enemy.
And now if I was...
And they've made it
everyone's Aramax.
Huge population there for Connery on the capture point late. Where was this population minutes ago? Maybe it just takes that long to redeploy and move around, because that's another element of gameplay. How quickly can you move from one base to the next base? So, in this instance, not as quickly. And they've got 67% population. And actually they've got some spawn options. So, you know what? Connery can totally retake this. It's up to whether or not Emerald can take it back. Even if Emerald wants to take it back, could just be a distraction. Because look, they're going to get a tech plant for free. They're going to lose Chimney Rock? Maybe? Yeah, minute 30. That would be good. That would reconnect the Skylance and the tech plant, although the tech plant's still pretty messed up.
So it's only 112 in the tech plant. Surely one Valkyrie can go and resecure that.
Well, yeah, the thing is, where do you put your numbers, because you're doing an overpop in Barrack Electrical. Sorry guys, I'll show the map again. I'm going to stay at Barrack Electrical. Can you go over to Quality Mountain Complex and just tell us what's happening?
Yeah, of course. Actually, the peak inside the tech plant, there's 3 empty harassers just sat there with no one, and they've abandoned it, assuming they're going to get captured. Okay, I'm inside Quality Mountain Complex now, and it's as horrifying as I remember it.
Push with your fucking man.
There's a huge amount of maxes on the point. But it looks like the NC might resecure it. Maybe?
Dude,
no.
What do you think the top gun is right now?
The top gun? Sure.
It's a TR gun just beating NC gun. So, what's the top TR gun and what's the NC gun?
Top TR gun MSWR, top NC gun Anchor.
Yeah, good call. So NSWR 1635-ish is going up, and the Anchor is about 100 kills behind.
They're just they're the guns that people assume are the strongest 1v1 LMGs, so that's why I guess those two, because they're the ones that get most used.
I mean, I play the EM6. I know it's not a good one-on-one, and I also play horrendously either the Carve or incredibly masochistically the Carve S, just because the 200 bullet mag when you're doing large numbers of people, because it's the reload that kills you. But look at this.
Yeah, I'm weird. I use the M6 or I use the Carve S.
Yeah,
I use the large magazine guns.
Yeah, maybe that's just our viewpoint from being from an outfit which we will not name. So moving on anyway, big redeployment there by Emerald, and Emerald pushes in one big cohesive push. They push off the defenders on Barrack Electrical. Tech Plant also looks like it potentially will go down in about 25 seconds. Although if you see it, there are numbers for Connery more than there are for Emerald. But the problem is that even if they make a save, guys,
those numbers should have been there before though. Then they could
but it's small token numbers, and even if they got to the point right now at 10 seconds to go, you've got 7 minutes until you do a full base cap. They can just come in with the numbers, sit there for 40 seconds, and take the base. And I don't even see the the Connery population. That was Air Force. So Tech Plant taken.
By Ecos.
Chimney Rock is a long way. The Zealous Biolab, holy crap, those guys have been there for like half an hour, nearly like 40 minutes. That's just traumatic.
Surely both the Connery and the Emerald forces on Biolab have PTSD by now.
I would. I mean, I simply on live play cannot sit there, and I cannot play that game mode on live for more than half an hour. It just becomes mind-numbing. But we can see quite a mountain complex was captured. Cobalt Com is being contested. The next question is, after a full resecure on Barrack Electrical, where next? You're going to get Skylance to get rid of that last,
Aramax, I would say, almost certainly is where they're going to
go. Yep, Aramax is the cutoff. You maybe want to. I would maybe try and reduce population at Zealous, and you could do a cutoff at Zealous. But this is all going to revolve around now the warp gate.
I would let them stay at Zealous. They're sending so many forces there every so often. You can pop something there and just cut off all that territory. I mean, I might have even been. I said 86-13. I might have been wrong. It might be worse.
No, this will be a domination. Wow, and it's Connery question and Farmereld. Thank you, Maelstrom. I'm glad I actually pay attention to my overlays every once in a while. Farmereld is on 100, so yeah.
Sorry.
To be honest, it should be Connery West.
And guess who's turned up at Aramax? It's some guys in red firing shotguns at the sky.
Yeah, they're ready to go. 10 seconds. Now, I'm going to have a quick look here, and I probably Amherst population. Guys, check this out. 49-49. So Connery's losing badly, but they are going to stick it out, and they're not quitting, guys. That's really commendable to Connery. Unfortunately, if they did quit, they would get 37% population territory. But, they're playing it out, so it's all fine. So it's good for them. I like that they're staying and playing. RMX is taking down. Skylance is... it's hard to say because it's population, but I don't know if it's flyers or whatnot, but it's ticking down. It's very hard to play. Have a quick look at the other bases. Zealous Northgate. Oh, that'll be interesting. Yeah. Let's see how the Connery attack goes through.
Look at the population on RMX. It got a huge amount. And the Connery Air Force has made a big show here. Connery knows exactly what Emerald are doing.
Well, I'm currently at Zealous Northgate, just checking this fight out for a few minutes. It's mostly infantry.
Don't fucking do it. They got 4 people stacked up on this staircase.
Yeah, what's interesting about the American servers is the greater use of, at least from my point of view as a European player, is the amount of proximity chat they use. Proxy chat, squad chat.
I think that must be because of the language barriers in Miller and Cobalt, right? I don't think Cobalt's as bad, but Miller especially, we have a lot of Russians, a lot of French, a lot of Germans.
To be fair, right, certain outfits play with other language outfits. Some of them are Russian. If I was in the same channel as them, I would just say, "Da, comrade, forward to the point." Something along those lines.
Easy, Kapka.
Yeah. And then when they cap the point and do all the work for you, you just go spasiba and then move on. It's done.
The only words in Russian you know are "Suka," "Twistra," "Davai," and "Idi nahoy."
Meaning what exactly for our non-Russian speakers?
Well, there's a mixture of insults and go fast and capture a base.
What's praise daddy?
Praise
and
daddy.
Lazy.
You just go to the Lenin
man. And this is the thing that I'm seeing consistently by Connery. Connery is being aggressive. I love the fact that they're still trying to counterattack and make pushing plays. But the problem is, unlike Emerald, they cannot close down a cap. They're finding it very hard to get a...
Watch out, enemy mine.
finding it very, very hard just to get that last 2 minutes, like get that last 90 seconds. So you have to go back to the drawing board and think, what are we doing wrong? Why are we getting pushed off? What is causing us to lose this base in the last 90, last 60 seconds? Is it a 60% overpop? Is it maxes? Is it everything? Maxes, vehicles, and overpop? Well, what are you going to do about that? How are you going to attack the base? And you need to plan and prepare for the last 60 seconds. I'm not giving them an answer because I don't necessarily have it myself, but you just have to anticipate, if I'm going to fight here, either A, I'm drawing more population from the enemy, forcing them off other lanes, or B, I have a game plan in mind so that I can capture this base knowing that the enemy's going to send something at me in the last moment.
Emerald forcing Connery into a trade here. It's like watching a game of chess where you try and force someone to trade the queen for something. They're pushing them between Araxian Cryobank, Aramex Chemical, and Zelas, and they're basically saying to Connery, which base do you want to lose? Because if you lose any one of those bases, you're going to lose a lot of territory along with it.
Oh, check out Genuine Physics Lab. It's like 2448. Not really doing much. Alright, the numbers are slightly changing now, but it was...
They need to realise that if they lose Aramex, they lose Genuine. There's no point defending at the top when they're unsecure at the warp gate.
Okay, so the Emerald TR, they got himself a Stealth Sunder, they got himself...
Did Connery have a Sunder on Barrack Electrical Edge? I didn't even notice that Connery managed to backhack there. Emerald didn't even notice. They still had guys on both the satellites.
Oh.
Not satellites, links.
How? Oh, warp gate. Durr, from the warp gate, that's how they managed to do it. So it just doesn't really matter. Yeah, so you're going to have to constantly defend these 3 points. But a big infantry push by Emerald from their Sunders on the west side to Aramex Chemical Co. Pushing onto the point, re-grabbing the point. Oh, they've got 2-1 number advantage. What happened to the Connery guys? I mean, they got 2-1 on Armax. I guess they're saving that. I guess it's a kind of a bounce back and forth. It's
because they have huge overpop at Cryobank, and now Emerald. This is what I said with them forcing a 3-way trade. Like, if Connery have to redeploy to save Armax, they'll push Emerald. They'll push Zelas and Araxian. If they defend Araxian, they'll push Zelas and Aramax and all the other combinations.
Slowly, like over a course of like 10, 15 minutes.
Exactly the same thing they did to them with Kavati, Hyoka, and Darax's firearms. They push them all down to the point where you can defend them.
What do you do? Like, see, I'm looking at Connery now, and I'm looking at Araxian Cryobank, right? I'm looking at 3-4 maxes for Connery, defending the point. And like, oh, they're redeploying! No! What? You pull a 450 nanite cost max and you redeploy? Are you gonna redeploy on me? Are you? Maybe not. I guess they're waiting for the full... I mean, the fact is you have to leave some numbers there to get the full save. Thing is, you want to reuse those maxes because of the nanite cost. So either you land the galaxies, we can see in the minimap, maybe get them picked up, or I don't know, Sunder, take a ride. Thing is it worth the time investment? Like, would you pick up some, from some maxes from a cryobank and then drive them to Bark Electrical?
No, it's just not worth the time.
At
a stage like this, you're going to be redeploying around all the links anyway. I'd say I'd try and not pull maxes. I'd put my guys in the aircraft instead. I mean, you could do what mercenaries do, which is they have dedicated galaxy, which has galaxies maxes inside it, and that galaxy is a taxi.
Are available? Question mark.
Mercenaries is just the most renowned max abusers, though, so you have to give it them.
That we know of. Yeah. Right. Well, anyway, I'm currently checking out Genuine Physics Lab. It's being attacked by Emerald. They've got the point. Only 2 minutes to go. The outskirts, tentatively from the south and west, is kind of ground vehicle control. Or at least I can see a Skyguard, maybe harasser, but air control looks very much in the case of Emerald's favour. The number of the Banshee,
the Connery Air Force
pods
is currently trying to stop the warp gate Aramax. There's a huge Connery Air Force there, pounding the point. It's doing a pretty good job as well.
With Stealth Sunder reserve on the back and an additional deployed Sunder pretty much right next to the spawn building is one run up and you're in. The fact is the reinforcement time for Emerald, the attackers, is probably ever so slightly faster than the defenders. So really it's just an infantry crunch. And they're going to have to contend with the occasional Banshee and Rocket just being a nuisance. But it really just comes down to how good is your infantry play. Can your infantry play outplay ours and go for the point? And it's very hard for the attackers because they have to hold it for 4 whole minutes in infantry play. for the defenders, they only do one successful push.
Above you, watch out.
I think Emerald are making their final offensive on Aramax now. This is the one they're going to go all in on. They have a lot of Sunderers up, a huge AA nest that's forcing the Connery arrow away. They have a Prowler. They've really got all the bases covered. And they're Connery making a nice attack from the side flank here with Falcomaxes. It's a really good pull, and it's killing off the Sunderers on the point.
I think I'm going to go back to Aramax in a sec. Yeah, Cryobank's fully safe.
Aramax is going to be a really good fight.
Yeah, I'm going to go there in a sec. I mean, I'm still watching the Genudyne. The Genudyne's still a brutal, crunching fight going on. It's basically going back and forth in terms of who gains cap control, and it's also very important to whoever gains control of the battlefield. Like if your maxes go down, but you can control the area that your maxes are dead, you can res all your guys out. But if the enemy manages to push you off and then gain control of that ground, they deny you a res of a max. Because if you res a max, that's 450 free resources right there. And we can see that the Emerald forces, it's what terms of population? It's 49 to 51. It's within the realm of negligible percentage, and they're able to pressure Connery back to the double building at the spawn. Ooh, we got some Connery Air Force turning up.
Yeah, they must have redeployed from Aramax.
I'm only 2 Reavers to be honest, and man, they're being... Oh no, I was gonna say they're being ganked, but they're being followed by Banshees? Lol, something? Maybe this is just guys here. Oh, jeez, oh, this is bad for the Connery Air.
I've got some really bad news as well. Aramax is currently at 45 seconds, and I don't see any
on the way.
I don't see any way for Connery to try and retake this.
Hi, have you read Twitch chat, by the way? Not that you should ever read Twitch that, but it's currently hashtag Spitty the Spitfire, best Connery player 2015.
Team Spitfire.
We call this tactical superiority.
Yeah, 19 seconds, 18 seconds. They'd need a huge push. I mean, they can totally do it because the runtime from the spawn room is short. And but
there's actually emeralds at the spawn room.
But look at the number of ESS pounding the nutsack out of the spawn room, for lack of a better term. Yeah, this is just harvesting. There you go. That's another base down, and huge population drop.
I gotta get a bit better, Connery.
So I mean, you look at that, and that's a massive territory drop off. Now you look at Genudyne Physics Lab; they captured it. The defenders can't spawn into Shrouded Skyway, and the attackers and they can't spawn into any base. There's no reinforcements, so West Pass is going to take about another 5 minutes, maybe a little bit less. Shrouded Fourway is going to be 4. Scarford Linkry is going to be 4. Ecological Preserve, Shipping Dock. They can probably grab most of this territory. In fact, the territory on the west side is probably just enough to go for domination, unless Aramax can be recaptured. And if you go for Cryobank, it's going to be even worse. Biolab's probably not going to go anywhere. I don't see that realistically going anywhere. So the real fighting is pretty much the Amherst Warp Gate. What do? They got huge numbers in the Warp Gate. What is the resolve of Connery? Do they stick in it? Do they get vehicles? Do they get...
I think if you're Connery, you have to fucking... sorry for the words, but you have to push to Aramax Chemical with your entire force, really, and reconnect that territory.
Not Barrack, you want to go for your Aramax?
Well, you need to reconnect that territory. That's, you just can't let that such a huge bit of territory be disconnected. Otherwise, it's just going to get slowly gobbled up by Emerald. You go over the timer, 30 minutes in the game, or 34 minutes.
I'm overlooking the warp gate, and I can see a variety of armor. It does look like they're going for Aramax, but not before they take some AA pop shots at Barrack Electrical. Barrack Electrical, a lot of Sunders being pulled off. Looks like some offensive force is kind of shifting its way slightly over to Cryobank.
And the good thing about Barrack is if you're the attacker, you kind of have the advantage because you get set up beforehand with Sunderers inside. But Emerald's kind of actively defending it. They have a roving Sunderer force outside and people inside with heavies.
Look at this. I mean, it's the fact is the number of maxes that they have. Just as a multiplier, along with the 5-6 Sunders they have. Providing ammo, providing repairs. Oh, there's actually a Vanguard. There's actually a Vanguard on the flanking side from the warp gate.
There's a TR
he
armor
doesn't
column as
have
well going to Cryobank.
doesn't have a gunner on his halberd, which is a shame. But he's definitely hiding in the rocks, getting some good pot shots in. They're slowly picking off. Oh, well now he's screwed because he's AP. What are you gonna do?
Enemy engineer spotted.
What are you gonna do? Come on, bro. What's next? No, that's an anti-tank barrier. You can't go over that. The Air Force has turned up. I mean, it looks very shiny. Nice mechanized push. No infantry to get the point yet, though, but they really are running the risk here of putting too much population in Aramax and losing Cryobank. And this is assuming the population can actually get to the capture point. Because it's whoever starts the cap timer first gains an advantage between the Aramax and Cryobank cap times.
Well, as long as they're pretty much the same, then there should be 5 seconds shouldn't matter. But
yeah, but if you can get like a 30 seconds, then it's
yeah,
whoever.
That's when it starts becoming a problem. If it's 30
yeah, because
seconds
it's not like a straight Ross, and whoever blinks first. It's a case of no, I can take your base, and then I can come back and save my base. You know.
And the Alexander deployed directly on point as well with a deployment shield.
I mean, they've got all these vehicles, but they don't have any infantry. And like, they've got a lot of vehicles, but they don't have any vehicles to fight. So there's a lot of vanguards with AP, which, by the way, Camo.
30 minutes remaining in the match. Now, half an hour remaining.
Yeah, I don't understand the big vanguard pull. All the TR
I mean, it
armor
looks
by
good, but that's all it really does. Is looks kinda good, and Cryobank's now
all
ticking
those
down.
Sunderers that were on that base drove off, snuck around, and went to Cryobank, and that's why the Emerald Force is there
they
now.
pulled fresh Sunderers from Barrack Electrical, and Cryobank is now ticking down at 32 to 67 in favour of the attackers, and it's 69 to 30 at Cryobank. But although there's like twice as many attackers for Connery, only now are they maybe beginning to capture the cap point. Nope, still in hands of TR. So this is working beautiful for the for Emerald because well, it just is really. Barrack Electrical is now taking down 60. Oh, okay, going back close to 50-50 now for NCTR on Barrack Electrical. I'm going to go to Cryobank next. Looks like Zealous Westock. Nope, 6 seconds to go and they've lost the point. I was going to go there first. Arbitrarily here, Ewok Village, also known as Shrouded Skyway, that's going to be ticked down. West Pass is ticking down. It's a lot of territory is being captured because of this cutoff by Emerald, which is because Connery can't respond to it.
If West Pass Watchtower goes down, that'll be really horrifying. You never want to lose it.
What I don't get is
that motherfucker.
there is there's a lot of like Emerald forces and Sunders working together for Raxcom Cryobank, right? And there's just one lightning attacking, and I'm like, where did this guy from the lightning come from? Is he part of the squad? Is he a solo player? Why is he just trying to fight Sunders by himself? What is he hoping to achieve?
Why are there so many vanguards at Barrack?
Just because someone said pull armor, but the problem is the armors realistically required at Araxium Cryobank, because armor's good against bases where you're trying to defend because you're picking off the spawn options. Armor is not good going for bases that you're trying to attack unless there's a big push against your own spawn options, because all you need is spawn options with Sunderers to go to Cryobank, to go to Chemical Coal. It's just basically, if you own the base and you're being attacked, you can use tanks to get rid of the spawn options. If you're attacking a base, you really just want Sunderers to get spawn options, and if the Sunderers are being threatened, then you bring in the counter to that, be it armor or anti-air.
Really for Barrack, you want Sunderers, because that base is so easy to take if you get Sunderers inside, which is what you should be thinking about doing if you're attacking.
Oh man, this is brilliant. There's a squad of 4 Connery trying to get towards the capture building, kind of having a long range, and they just got double pounded by rocket pods from Mosquito.
It's really demoralizing playing.
Where are you going?
Okay,
go for the max. Oh, dude, what? Okay, maybe there's a bit lag on my end. Okay, you got a minute and 60 seconds, a minute and 10. The Air Force has turned up. That's another way of doing it, rather than vehicles getting rid of the spawn options. Doesn't matter though, with 60 seconds, the run time from a Sunder is more like 40 from the outside, so now it just becomes an instance of how can they push inside. Very big exposed area.
And a few heavies.
Okay, so Emerald, yeah, got a few max. Alright, here we go, max from behind. Hey guys, yo! Second max.
And one max is down inside the point room though.
Okay.
Are you waxing cryobank?
Yeah, I'm just watching the max going around the corner.
Have you seen the 2 TR medics hiding in a spawn tube?
I saw the heavy assault in the spawn tube.
There's 2 medics sitting inside the spawn tube. They got TR empty max now. That was really
Oh,
cool.
I never noticed the spawn tube that's actually shields up and there's a canister
yeah,
inside
some
it.
of them. Yeah.
God, how many times have we fought this space and we've never noticed that?
I'm too busy shooting people.
Yeah, there you go. Well, that is a big. I mean, how many numbers is there? Look at cryobank, 70% against 29. Those numbers could realistically, the overpop could be used for barrack.
Hats off to Connery though. They might get Aramax and barrack somehow. I'm not sure. Barrack didn't look like it was executed very well, but Aramax looked pretty good for them.
Still ticking down barrack. I'm gonna go there first.
The Thunder is here now, so maybe they might just get one aside.
Wow, yeah, it's could it just be that Emerald has decided actually we can get a domination, because that's probably what they're going for. They want to get a domination.
87%, yeah.
That's not enough, you need 94. Now, it's going to go up ever so slightly now with Scarfield and Wocock. Is there enough time? Yeah, 25 minutes, you can grab all the territory on the left. It is enough if you don't lose. I mean, you see Armax is actually probably ticking down. Yeah, it's ticking in the favor of the TR. That's really awkward. It's because what's interesting is that it's ticking anti-clockwise, i.e. from right to left on the map, but on the actual kind of HUD icon on the right side is ticking from left to right. So one's going right to left and one's going left to right, and you're like, who's? And then the blue's going down, and the red's going up, and you're like, oh god, that's just confusing, man.
So
can
it's
you not?
brain training.
Yeah, can I have it consistent, please? Just a little bit of consistency, and like, okay, so we can see Emerald pushes off.
Nice
the
save in Aramax. Nice save in Aramax as well.
So everyone basically saves the base that they have. And the biolab, I'm going to go to the biolab and have a look at that for a while. I might as well do it a bit of justice, even though the thing's been going on forever. And that's enough of the biolab. It's time to leave, right?
The biolab must be like 95% empty cartridges now from Menzu shotguns.
1 point in the hand of Emerald, 2 points in the hand of Cobalt. It really comes down to what kind of sub-bases you've got, although... Sorry for bouncing the camera around. It's just... That is the biolab epitome right there. What is a biolab? A biolab is a scat max going bum 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 and you're dead. That's it. You don't even realise what's happening.
There's an awful lot of Connery players screaming for Valhalla or something else. I think they want to be witnessed.
For Valhalla, look at me. I'm the captain now. Hey, wow, okay, look at the conga line of up pads into the... they really want to get into the... Hey, I tell you what, in ServerSmash, there's probably in live server, this probably wouldn't hit play, but keep going. But no, I want you to attack the biolab, and I want you to keep attacking the biolab. It's probably that platoon leader's directive. Oh, and my god, that just looks painful. Oh, dude, check Barrack Electrical, 96 plus, 64%.
There's some beautiful AA work going on at Barrack as well. There's the TR are firing burst maxes and rockets in conjunction out the spawn and hitting these galaxies. And obviously they're timing it with themselves as well, because they keep firing rockets at the same time. It looks amazing.
Watching. A lot of striker fire.
Yeah.
Or is that potentially the new nanite systems?
Is that the new NS weapon, maybe, the Swarm? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really effective, though. It's clearing out the air pretty well.
But
and obviously with those maxes, when you make the push, you switch them to anti-infantry, and then you push.
Dude, there's 48 to 24 to 48. It looks like the population's actually slowly shifting to barrack. So our Aramex is like quasi-safe. This is like 30 seconds to go, and Cryobank is quasi-safe. So all the fighting's going to go to Barrack Electrical. If ever Connery was going to dominate this base and take it, it's right now. They've got control.
I see them having a lot of maxes inside Barrack, but it's quite a long range inside the point.
Oh, dude, but look at the sheer depth of defense that is at Barrack Electrical.
Yeah, you have to fight your way
in the point, in the stairs, still contesting outside. This is horrendously difficult for Emerald to take this back.
They've done a decent job to start attacking, but what they should have done is brought Sunderers into their maxes, because then they could have deployed them, and if they ever got re-attacked, they'd have warning and they could redeploy straight back in. And it's so much more resource effective than maxes. I don't think Emerald are going to re-secure this. Pretty strong push.
Dude, proximity chat is nothing but Mad Max. Oh, dude, is that too little too late? That max push coming in as it renders.
This is what Connery wants, though, because it's a lot of resources wasted by TR if they don't.
Hey, come on, Emerald! If you're gonna pull that many maxes, look, that's a concerted push. It's a very big steel wall. They're going into the shields. They're still coming up. Nothing can stop this. You need a conch grenade. You need lots of conch grenades.
They're getting whittled down. Oh, the tank mine! Oh, we got 2.
Oh,
3,
wow,
4,
that's it. Oh, there we go.
A lot of people witnessed that, man.
There's still a defense more in depth on the cap point waiting for them.
It's got this, they've got this.
There you go. Nice work, Connery. Well done. It only took you 96 plus and a 56% base, but good job.
One of the most
Oh, dude!
I've seen.
Wocock's Toromar and Aramex are cut off! It's the counter cut off!
New meta confirmed.
So that is now plummeted the Emerald's percentage. It's not 89, it's going to update in a minute or so, guys, because the in-game one's a bit slow. So the fact is, with Wocock Amp Station and Ecological Preserve, it's really not going to matter. It's more of just a hilarity type thing ensues, with Barrack Electrical being recaptured. Now the question is, what does Emerald do? Because they can't get a Cryobank without getting a Barrack Electrical, and Barrack Electrical is where it's at. With the remaining 5 territories on the on the eastern flank, I wonder if it's just outside domination range. It's 20 minutes to go. There's still time for Emerald to pull the domination, but Connery, can't let it happen. They don't want to be dominated again. That would be the 3rd straight domination for them. So what are we looking at here? Ecological Preserve, there's no one flying over. Wocock, no one's really flying over. They're not really taking advantage of Aramex, and if the populations are accurate, it's 24-48. Looks like a plume is just staying there defending. Right, I guess we're just going to have a look at Zealous West Air Dog until something else.
There's a really, really weird thing to see in ServerSmash right now at Aramex. There's an NC Vanguard force about to engage a TR armored force. There's actually going to be a field tank. There's going to be a field
on
tank
Aramex
in ServerSmash. At Aramex, yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's TR Thunderers and Lightnings versus Vanguards and Lightnings and Thunderers. It's the first time I've seen a pitched field battle between armored vehicles in ServerSmash.
On the left corner, we have Emerald with the Thunderers and the Lightnings. And on the right corner,
they're scurrying around in the hills now because they've lost the Thunder.
Dude, come on, Vanguards. Why are Vanguards going after infantry? Stay with your Thunderers where there's proxy repair. Yeah, go around the flank. Don't go for the killing of the infantry, because if you kill the infantry, it's just going to spawn back to the spawn building. Run past them.
They're even getting this Vanguards pinned down in the hills as well, because they just can't fight in these bumpy hills.
It's one thing to pull armor, it's another thing to use it. Here, I'll hit you up with 4-0. That dude knows how to use armor.
And here come the TR Lightning harassers. I mean, the funny thing is the Skyguards and Thunderers have
the right idea. The thing that's doing it is the AV maxes. It's like the 4 or 5 NC maxes on the hilltop.
Can you see these Thunderers and Skyguards that are on the left flank now, the road, the left side of the road, the NC? They're pushing around the back of the base now. If the Vanguards had done that, this fight would have been over a long time ago.
Yeah, the reason they won this fight is due to like the 5 maxes just being all AV, super heavy. Barrack Electrical, oh wow. So the 6% population that's moved to Aramex, they've been obviously counter-capped ever so slightly at Barrack. That's fine so long as the defenders can counter-push because they got 54%. But this 66% needs to make its weight felt. They need to be able to apply pressure on the space, and vehicles are not going to capture the building ultimately, and if everyone's in a vehicle, you'll be less inclined to jump out and go to the cap line. And is there even going to be squad cohesion?
I'm just trying to see where the fights are actually occurring, because there's such a small amount of fronts now. The fighting's condensed around Connery's walk gate.
I mean,
back into a corner.
It's bloody cinematic. It looks great, but from an experience point of view, it's bloody useless. All of this armor.
Yeah, it's a really pretty fight, because they've been pushed in such a small front line. They can pull things like armor and fight a pitch battle.
Yeah, it's great. It's fantastic. But ultimately, all that matters is this capture point right here in the next 4 minutes. I mean, I suppose Connery could pull enough vehicles to surround the spawn room to prevent Emerald from coming out because there's too much crap to blow up. I mean, there are air forces here. I mean, they really want this. But Warcook is going to go through before Aramex, so the
Are
problem
they
is...
going to just lose Barrack as well?
Well, this is the thing for Emerald.
Aramex?
Emerald has to save Zealous West Air Dock. Well, I say have to. It's kind of voluntary. And at the same time, they can't spawn their forces into Aramex because it's a cut-off territory. However, Warcook Amp Station is going to go through in 2.5 minutes. Aramex is going to go through in 3.5 minutes. So hypothetically speaking, Emerald and Barrack Electrical is 2 minutes. So this is a potential play. Depending on Zealous West Air Dock, which looks like small numbers, and we'll ignore that for a second, Emerald could capture Barrack Electrical. After that, they could then, with the capturing of Warcock Amp Station, dump all their population to Aramax and make a save there. So, if bizarrely, this 73% population that's currently...
There's a good push coming from Connery at Barrack now. I think they might be able to resecure this if they try.
Okay, I'm going to go there. I'm just going to say that Connery would be wise to try and go to Warcock and just try and delay it more, so that at least its cap timer is longer than the Barrack Electrical, so that, you know, a pop redeploy isn't possible.
What they really need to do is get a Sunderer into Barrack. It's their base. Just get a Sunderer in, and they have all the time in the world. Deploy it on point, get repair ones in, get blockade in, and just leave them there. Just have them as a physical block, and they can always redeploy into them if you need to. Oh, but this reinforcement for Emerald coming in now on the other side of the base. This is crazy. Max is rushing to the point. Yeah. Huge CR force just reinforced from the Sunderer.
Because Connery just made it to the point, briefly.
As Connery just made it there, a massive TR force redeployed and they get in the garage Sunderer.
Oh, I can see it. No, I'm beginning to see that now. I see the Sunderers, yeah.
I think they just ferried them over. It's really impressive.
Dude, I was on the other side of the capture point, and their TR wasn't even rendering for me. That's how many guys there were, because I was too far away with the camera. You need to get really close to see everyone.
And see, this is the thing, Emerald have brought in the Sunderer already.
Oh man, they brought the Sunderers.
Barry, are you at the biolab?
I'm at Barrack Electrical.
Go to the biolab, you'll see something amazing.
It's going to be captured, going to be saved? I'm there. What am I looking for?
You'll see it.
I'm there, what am I looking for?
Someone got a Sunderer inside.
Something's flying inside.
They got a Mozzie inside.
Oh, I was trying to leave. No!
You can't escape.
Look at the southwest side.
Dude, I see it. It's cute, I guess. I'm guessing that's very hard to pull off.
Yes.
Fantastic. Well, there's some technical skill. Congrats, bro, but you're not really being that helpful. I guess, maybe, if he can fly freely, but he's not. He's stuck with his nose.
He was flying, though.
Okay.
Give it some credit.
Well, absolutely. Credit is due and credit is due. But, I guess we'll go back to where all the numbers are, and that's Barrack Electrical.
Salt the wound.
Sorry. Congrats, air flyers! Way to go! I'm not being condescending to the pilots, but I really am, because I couldn't care. That's why we've got PSP 3 for the air stuff.
You get a res grenade, and you get a res grenade, and you get a res grenade.
Oh, Oprah Winfrey of the Medics is here in res grenade donations. Wow, okay. So, Barrack Electrical is captured. Reconnects Aramax. Oh, Aramax, 40 seconds. Everyone redeploy right now and go to Aramax.
See the difference when...
End of match. Congratulations.
Oh wow, was that it?
For winning with a dominating victory.
Oh wow. So what percentage
please
was
get
that?
the force commanders in the interview channel.
I think the cut-off territory must have counted against it.
Maybe lowered it? Well, Aramax... No, maybe Barrack Electrical. It's an arbitrary number. We know it's like 94% in Hossin, but I guess it could be slightly different numbers from different continents. But there you go. So, domination victory by Emerald with about 12 minutes, 13 minutes left over. We'll see.
Yeah, 30 minutes.
Mail, is the clock going to stop, or have you frozen stats?
I've frozen stats, so the clock will keep going.
Awesome. Thank you. Alright, we'll need to get some of our... Yeah, we'll need to get some of our reps up here and the force commanders and just kind of see what happened-ish. Kind of force composition, structure, and all that kind of stuff. But ultimately, it was basically just Emerald being Emerald. Applying a lot of pressure on Connery on multiple lanes, back and forth, and just slowly taking base at a time after a time. While the reps get there, let's have a look at some stats. Well, I don't know about the timeline, but it's basically about 1.5k advantage in terms of kills for Emerald. Assuming that's even accurate, I don't even think that is. Dude, check that out. 2 top kills are actually from Connery. 254 kills!
There was a Korean guy on Connery that was really good a few games ago. He got a lot of kills.
He must have a buddy because 191 and 189. The second guy has 218 kills. Man, that's pretty crazy.
218 kills?
Yeah,
What?
218. Well, the top guy's 254.
Oh, 218 kills. I thought you said 218 kills. So...
Team, yeah, okay.
That'd be impressive. And see...
Apparently, sorry, I'm just reading chat while we're waiting for the rep to get into position. I suck anyway. It is true, guys. I do suck pretty bad. I did yawn a lot today. No, man, it was fine. Connery did great. They did what they could. I hope they had a lot of fun. We're going to go talk to them now. So we're going to drop down to the interview channel and see what the guys have got to say to us.
Do we want to move?
Yeah, let's go.
Well,
guys,
that hurt.
Yay! Well, to be honest, I had kind of fun casting it. We were really cheering for you, Connery. We were cheering so hard for you, Connery. Did Emerald just, like, even though they think of you as a younger brother, did they just kind of beat up on you today?
It certainly was quite the beating, yes. I give Connery major props for hanging in there with me. We were right up. We were above the 230 mark all the way to the end, so I got to give him awesome props for being so tough out there today while we were facing such odds.
I guess question for Emerald is, today you were playing against Connery, you even lent them some of your forces, is that correct? You lent them some of your forces to field a team, is that correct?
Yeah, actually, huge respect to 1TR.
Right, so I mean, like, was it just like any game with Connery, we're just going to play, we'll give them some people, you know, they're our little brother, as I said, but we're just basically going to beat the crap out of them and we get as much percentage as possible. Was that the kind of game plan?
Well, fortunately, we I shouldn't say lent, we traded permanently a bunch of our fantastic players over to Emerald as well, so.
But yeah, to answer the question, we weren't going to play easy because that wouldn't exactly be the most respectful thing. Because, like, I don't know, we go in playing to win, as almost always.
Well, you have to think about the wider tournament as well, don't you? You know, to get the most, if you're going by wins or then territory percentage, whoever's the highest gets, you know, first pick on the playoffs. So I guess that's also another reason to keep, you know, to play hard.
Yeah, and I don't think we have to worry about getting our score adjusted tonight. So,
Seb, maybe you want to ask some questions about the air game, what they kind of thought about it.
Yeah, me and Rob followed the air game through the entire match. First, a quick question. Emerald, how many people did you have in the air platoon tonight?
Synthesis.
We had 48 people.
48, alright. But yeah, because what we noticed through the fight, that there was a lot of great air fights throughout the entire match, and usually the big kind of air fights would often go in Connery's way, like with quite a huge margin. But Connery just didn't manage to leverage the air power that they had. Was it just you like outmaneuvering their airball, or how did you see the match going? The question for synthesis.
Oh well, for starters, I wasn't the air lead, but I mean,
right.
there was a few points where we were definitely inconvenienced by your air, so it was definitely a strong suit for you.
Yeah, especially
a couple times, you know, I'd hear over command like, "Oh, well, we were on our way to, you know, Tormar, but we got shot out of the air before we got there," which it does not happen often at all. So the fact that it was happening is a real plus side for Connery.
Yeah, especially right at the end there. That was they kind of anchored their airball just to the north of Barrack, and that actually really screwed with us. Like, our air wasn't really able to deal with that.
Yeah, it definitely looked that way. Just to clarify, I wasn't playing up. I was observing in the airstream. Do we have the Connery air leader here?
I'm looking for him. I do not see him in channel. Let me see if he's around still.
All right, but do Connery have any comments on the air from the leadership perspective then?
I got to give major props to our air folks. They did a great job. We know Amherst is so key. You know, I don't really know how our galaxies were moving around in the air, but I know our air balls stick together and was definitely giving them a good fight the whole time. Big props to George W. Bush for running that, along with Scourge of the Server, and Lacomi for rallying his troops as well. George is here now. He can make any quick comment on what he thought about the air game.
I honestly, I felt like the air game was very solid. It was stalematy for the first 30 minutes or so, but after that, I would like to say it was pretty much strongly within our favor. Every time our air balls met, the system we had rolling, using the Japanese to go forward first and just the Americans for lock-on support was very solid. The only thing I could have really asked for, or the only thing that really stood out to me, was that not having the ascent really became a massive pain in our ass. Not to the point where it became a huge issue for us, but they could pull a bunch of aircraft pretty much nonstop. They had strong AA support from the ascent, so it really limited our options in the middle. But otherwise, it was good. Can't say enough good things about my platoon.
Well, the ascent. Speaking about the ascent, Emerald did manage to steal the major bases, most of the 3 and 4 point bases from Connery. And did you guys really plan on it, Synthesis?
Oh yeah,
Split Peak was a very impressive cut. We were talking about it.
one.
Like, you're 67% population for Connery, but the way with the new game mechanics, and I wonder if Connery, if you guys were aware of it, that the last second, whoever has, the most cap points takes the base, and then we see that there was just like a drop on the Bravo point, I think it was, to get the number of points, and then all of a sudden the TR takes it. I mean,
yeah, the Bastion was the first sort of base where we did that, and it honestly it worked like clockwork because we had enough time to repel McCall Auxiliary, capture Araxicom network, and then immediately after network we just redeployed right over to the Bastion with 2 minutes left, swept Connery off point, and took it. It was brilliant.
Yeah, that was the plan going into it. We did the same. We got really worried, though, with Split Peak, as you guys were pointing out, because that got a little hairy there right at the last second, but we ended up pulling it off, so props to Gator for that.
Yes, I'm going to ask about upcoming games, unless anyone's got anything burning to ask. Connery, you guys are now going against Cobalt, so I mean, are you guys feeling maybe good for that? And that's on the 10th of October on the Hossen map. You guys just going to go away and maybe think what went wrong today, how can we do better, how can we play tactical play? Because I see aggressive spirit, I see good strategic play. It just seems to be that when you choose to attack, the tactical play of how you attack is just not quite there for when the enemy team comes back, redeploys, or tries to make a save. I mean, so with this upcoming Cobalt game, you're just going to be running maybe more practice stuff, or just kind of looking over where it went wrong and maybe kind of getting ready for the next game?
Yeah, as you know, with Connery right now, a lot of our veteran outfits aren't participating. It's all the people that are stepping up are awesome. We just got to keep working. We have some people that are coming back that have participated a while back, and now they're a little bit newer. People that haven't been doing it for the past 15 matches. So that's where we're at. We're at the drawing board. We're working hard. They're going out. I mean, people work their asses off for this match, which I really appreciate. They're working hard. And some of the people that, they're just getting used to the pace of ServerSmash. They're learning that pace. And that's exactly what we just got to keep doing. Just keep trying to get used to that pace. And especially with the new changes, as you know, it's all about timing and hitting those points. It's not about, we had a platoon sitting at Lithcore. We had 48 people basically not involved in the opener fight, because Lithcore is empty. It's all about getting those. It's going to be dropping as many people you can as on the right points at the right base at the right time. It's going to be who can drop the right platoons at the last 10-second mark to take it on those bases with the new neutral changes. So it's just a matter of managing those new changes and learning how to work around them and move fast enough to achieve that.
I guess the important thing is, so long as you guys are having fun, I mean, no one likes losing, it sucks, but so long as you guys are having fun and enjoying the game and then improving, that's all you can really ask for, right?
I hope so. I'm going to come out here and try to represent Connery. I hope everyone's having fun. I just got to say a big thank you to everyone that came out and fought all the way to the end with me. And
I guess I have to ask the question now to Emerald. On the 4th of October, you guys are playing Briggs on Essimir. So Briggs being one of the main opposition for top spot and this thing. I mean, how guys are you feeling about that?
No one? Well, like all the matches we're going into, I mean, we're going to take it seriously. It's Briggs. They're the only server that has beaten us in the last 10 matches. So we're always prepared to take them on, and we always feel their force more than competently. So we're going to be prepared for that one. And it's coming for Skippy.
Okay, cool. Well, I mean, did any of the other casters or anyone else want to ask anyone questions before we move off?
There's something weird I saw this game. There was a lot of vanguards used by the entity forces of Connery. I was wondering if that was something that was decided for the match, or if it was just an outfit that's got a lot of vanguards.
I think it's a situation when you're on the defensive so much, you're trying to figure out how you can actually move into a base. You know, I watched Emerald take absolute advantage of, especially harassers and sunderers, which is a key point. You know, there's points where we have a platoon on lane, and it's up to that platoon leader to decide how they're going to push out from there. I think being on the defensive, you take that time to regroup, and that's when you end up with those armor columns moving forward.
I think it's an argument for using entities in the defense or defense, but it was just. I've never seen them used so consistently across all the lanes. I just wanted to know if it was a doctrine.
Yeah, platoon leader's calling that one.
All right. Well,
Sorry,
cool. You asking anyone else?
No, I've got no more questions.
All right, cool. Well, I guess thank you very much for playing today, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed yourselves on Amrish. With that, we'll leave you off. We'll leave you guys now, and maybe final words, whatnot. And yeah, okay. So we're gonna have that channel. I'll leave you guys to just kind of chat away and digest the game, and we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks in October.
Great, thanks
good
much.
game, Connor.
Thank you.
Yeah, good
Good
game.
game.
Yeah,
Lot of
good
fun.
game, especially the air.
good game, both.
Whoever was leading air, much.
Where's my co-caster? Has he not moved? There you go.
There you go.
There you go. You're very slow, you know that? For someone who redeploys quickly. Okay, so put up the in-game here. Right, guys, so ultimately that was our ServerSmash 50. 50 ServerSmashes, flipping heck, that's a lot over a period of time, isn't it? Like last year and a bit?
Mm-hmm.
That's, and considering they're not all the time.
50's huge.
Yeah.
I think we've got a few grey hairs now.
More than a few grey hairs from that drama we've had. I'm going bald. Right, anyway, aside from that, that was it was a one-sided game. We knew it was probably going to be one-sided, and it was just interesting to see how it became one-sided. But it was just very clear that the Emerald meta of applying pressure multiple places multiple times is brutal and unrelenting. But it's not only how they attack and where they attack, but it's the methods involved in the attack. The sunders, the setups, the force multipliers, the effective use of air pounding, air to ground pounding, sort of like air forces. So I mean, all of that just comes together. And it's just multiplies the headache for enemy teams when they come across Emerald. So I mean, I'm looking really forward to seeing how Briggs deals with Emerald. But that's in October. Right now, coming up next, guys, ServerSmash 51 will be an all-European affair. That is Cobalt versus Miller. That is going to be next week. And that will be September the 19th, will be on Essamir, and it's going to be an 1800 UTC start, so considerably earlier than it was today. I will not be casting it. We'll have to find someone else to do it. Maybe we can have it in Korean with Maddox, or someone else do that. I'll be off in some hill riding my bike in the cold weather, but, fun. And that'll be interesting to see how that goes. Now, in that game, Shukati, we're practically all from Miller here, so it'd be very biased for us to say Miller is probably going to win it. Who knows? Cobalt might come back and bite them. Miller's got a completely new roster, apparently. Or maybe they don't. I don't know. No one has actually told me anything. I'm really looking forward to seeing it, perhaps. Apparently Emerald had a roster today that was perhaps a little bit different. Maybe they're just cycling through their teams from the weaker opposition. Who knows? Anyway. That being said,
I heard it was Emerald Z team today, not B team, but Z team.
I may have called it the Z team. I may have just been making that up. But then again, it could have been alts. Who knows?
In one match I'm really looking forward to is the Miller versus Emerald match. That's going to be a very tight match, I think.
Yes. The thing is, you're going to have like a championship level match. It's either going to be Briggs Emerald, right? Or it's going to be Miller Emerald. And the question is, we've seen a lot of dominating one-sided games here. Miller's had a couple of dominating wins. And Emerald has had now 2 dominating wins. So you're going to have these two teams coming together. And is one team just going to dominate and push over the other team? Or are we finally going to see like a very close game between the two most prominent servers currently in how they play? Or is Briggs going to come back into it because they lost quite badly to Miller? I mean, are they going to show a good, strong feeling? Can they beat Emerald in their game? So there's lots to see. I mean, this is just for seeding positions in the playoffs. Something like, if you beat the team here, it's not like congrats, you win the championship, there's a tournament trophy. No, it's like now you go into the playoff games and then you redo it. So even if you do dominate or lose badly, if you then get into the playoffs, then you get another chance perhaps if you make it sufficiently far enough. So it'll be very interesting to see how this goes, and I'm looking really forward to the games that come up in September and October. But at any rate, guys, thank you very much for watching. And we will be back next weekend for Cobalt versus Miller. And with that being said, unless you guys got any final goodbyes or greetings or things?
Keep up the Reddit drama, because that's the true ServerSmash.
Oh, man. Well, I was having fun, and we're going to see you next week. And maybe I'll have a chance for streaming on the Twitch channel. But
dude, we need a Korean stream. We need a Korean stream, and then Twitch chat needs to join you in the Korean stream. It's that simple.
We might have stats next week as well. Maybe.
Well, that's up to DBG, isn't it?
So, yeah, I think that's
so.
Up to DBG.
Stats are coming soon.
TM. Soony.
Okay. All right. Well, we've dawdled too much, guys. So thank you very much for watching. We're going to head off now, and you enjoy the rest of your day and good of your weekend. And I won't be casting next week, so the bias factor will be down about 50 points. But, you know, I'm sure I'll find somebody to replace me temporarily. We'll see. But anyway, I digress. Thank you very much for watching, as we said, and we will see you next week. Bye, guys.
And it's 3 AM in the UK.
Yeah, who cares?